of course, New Zealand as well. And all of our international visitors watching us either online throughout the afternoon and the weekend. The live stream coming to you Friday afternoon at Willowbank Raceway as part of our, Jamboree 2026, thanks to Garrett Advancing Motion. So much that and remember back in the day, a one-day event got so big we had to make it a two-day event, and for so many years, the two-day event worked. It worked. We're now at that stage there where, you just, by the sheer magnitude of it, based on the whole magnitude of it, is now out to nearly needing 3 days to do it. Joining me on the mic for the first time this afternoon, did you have to work today, Mark Allen, or was it a half day?
It was a half day, mate.
Good old-fashioned Friday half day, mate. How good is it?
How was the testing? Because I haven't seen any of it.
Look, can't say that we all stood here and watched epic runs, run after run. We saw tastes of either a good start line launch and something down track, or something good off the launch and then something down. So we've had a mixture of both ends of the track, point A to point B. We talk about testing being like rehearsal for a performance. So what we saw is, as we said, if you're trained and you've rehearsed before, you're normally starting as a 5, 6, 7, 8. You're ready, but we're still getting a few people doing 1, 2, 3, 4 just yet, not getting that first part. The staging procedure, that sort of thing, leaving on time, getting the lights on, that's been another thing that's turned up in testing. So it's not just testing the machine, it's testing the driver. So I think coming into this time of the afternoon, we've still got a bit of residual UV on the track, still might be a little on the warm side just for now, but we are asking everyone to go down there and put a number down in this afternoon qualifying session. If any of these little lineups just turn up on the line, Mark Allen, we will have to probably talk them up a little bit more.
Well, I must admit, I just went through, did my voting on the Jamboree page. So if you go Jamboree on Facebook, there's a link for the rivals night pairings and who you think is going to win.
Well, you know what? Now that we're live on the Overtaking Lane stream right across the world, let's throw those matches out there for the people watching and listening right around the world. So let's start. I'm going to start backwards here because it's a nice twist, that last name, if we get to Pro Compact. So let's start at Factory Extreme. So Archie, so I haven't seen Archie today, but it says here Sam Afcal and Archie Kieski, if those guys line up. So that's Sammy and Archie. Jay Sadek and George Rahayam. So 20 Bs both sides. Zoran Gadget against a fifth Mikhail. So again, these are just, this is quali, but it's a rivals. It's a matchup, right? We're gonna go racing. So it's giving you a taste of what you can expect on Sunday, but it's kind of thinly disguised as a quali round, but it's a match race round. And check this one out: Rob Marjan versus Rod Harvey. So we've got RB versus 2J, 2J versus 2J. 20B versus 20B, 20B versus 20B. So there's some nice matchups in Factory Extreme. Outlaw Pro Mod, check this out. NASA Matter and Steve Smith.
That's a good matchup,
Blower versus Turbo. Barry Plumpton versus John Ricker. Blower versus Nitrous. Stu Walsh versus Russ Pavey. Turbo versus Blower. Joe Gauci, Paul Merry, and all double Profab bump in. Massive bump city there, Joe Gauci, Paul Merry. So we've got one big bang of bump city in that one. Pro Turbo, Justin Cook against Isaac Afcal. So piston versus rotor. So that's 2J Chevy pickup. Jason Payne against Jerry Keel. So 20B for Jerry. Jason Payne, that's really stout RB in that R32 tube car. And Ben Slaughter against Eddie Howarth. 2Js both sides of the racetrack. Some all 2J double bump in going to be happening there. Pro Compact. It just says Moose versus someone, right? So Moose will end up versing someone if Moose turns up. He could sit there and wait. We could be on a tight schedule, maybe can't wait too long. Jürgen Piscopo against Fred Karam. So I think Freddie in the S15, I think with the Cosworth in it. Benny Palmer against Moe Osman. So 13B against that four-cylinder Mitsubishi Lancer that ran out here the other day. Went 672 here the other day.
Oh, that's
the
nice,
4G63. Yeah. Alan Dodd against Lee Doherty, so an all-rotor match-up there. Sup G against the little... Well, that was going to be the MX-5, but Lee's got a big story about, having an issue with his MX-5 down in Sydney and then swapping everything into the RX-7.
Yeah, I saw something about that on Facebook. They were having some big hours.
Yeah, isn't social media great? If these teams or races, they have that experience, they share it. Sometimes it's not nice to share, but sometimes it's good. So that story was they had an issue with the car and... instead of trying to fix MX-5, just went into the RX-7. They'd bought off Billy Nabbin, and lo and behold, Lee's in Pro Compact in a different car. Marcus Pepe against Simon Ione. You know, both those guys tested a lot this afternoon. They both showed real potential in the short end of the track. If they're gonna go quali/racing tonight, well, they're gonna want to put the win light on. So let's just see whether we can get them deeper into the sixes than what they've already promised. And get this one, a great matchup, and I'd love to see this as the finale of our rivals night. Peter Rahayem against Rodney Rahayem. So nephew versus uncle. Like, I love the idea of Rodney and Pete going in there. Pete, the blatant underdog. Rodney with the very best of, you know, that's one of the most elite rotary tube cars we've got in the world, that 13B Camaro in all its fruit, 7-speed and everything like that, against the old Pete Rahayem Pac Jr., 13B RX3 car. So
I don't think I've seen the Camaro yet.
Oh no! Wait till you see it. It's an amazing piece of machinery. That's what we've been saying to the crowd all day. The ones that have turned up here on Friday, how lucky they are on a Friday weekday in the afternoon, beautiful, sort of winter Queensland sun, that the home of Jamboree is buzzing on a Friday afternoon. What we've already seen for those people that have been out here all day, some pretty good, there's some good equipment in this part of the world, and people have been loving what they've seen here already in testing. So I think if we get all into the habit, that especially for people interstate, that, you can get up to Jambo early, and a lot of these interstate teams actually come early and they do a little mini holiday by the sounds of it, down the Gold Coast or whatever. Then they either take up Jambo, then do that after the week of Jambo, or it's a few more doing it just on the lead up to Jambo. So the Friday's beneficial. If you're coming on a trip somewhere, why wouldn't you want to see something on a Friday night? Just, you know what I mean? Instead of waiting till Saturday to see it and you see a little bit of testing on Friday, let's make more of an event out of it on the Friday. It's a formula that works.
And who doesn't like a long weekend, mate, as well?
Yeah, who doesn't like a long weekend? And for those people watching overseas or even here, anyone from interstate knows that in Brisbane, it's a Brisbane thing. It's a southeast Queensland thing happening next week. Everyone else in Australia knows it as a royal show. Like in Sydney, it's the Royal Easter Show. When does it happen? Easter, right? So that major agricultural show that happens in most states happens at different times of the year. When it comes to Brisbane, ours is in August. Now, of course, that is next week. I mean, it starts, I think, this weekend, the show. It's in its 150th year. So that's bringing the country to the city. And, of course, being right in the city, it's quite the fair. What happens in suburban Queensland, suburban Brisbane during that week is there's a public holiday on the Wednesday if you're in the city. But if you live in the suburbs, there's a random day of the week that your suburb gets the day off instead. So guess who's got Monday off? I do. So I've got the old Moreton Bay Shire Pine Rivers Monday holiday. So this is a 4-day Jambo for me, mate.
What do you think Jamboree look like in 150 years when we're celebrating it?
Oh, mate, it'll be Danny Lansdowne in the wagon, and it'll be well, today it's Brent Coles in the RX8. I can't see these guys doing anything other than that, or their offspring, to be honest. Here we go, Radial Extreme. Q number 1. Now, of course, no match races needed in Radial Extreme. We're just going to see them come up and have a hit. So another call for Radial Extreme and J275 to the lanes, please. We've got to keep an ear out for some other ones to be called to the lanes, please. Let's have a look at the text. Are we all getting the text? Yep. Okay, Street 289 to the lanes, please. Street 289 to lane 5, please. Friday Arvo, don't be lulled into a false sense of relaxation. You are here to qual this afternoon. Street 289, lane 5 to the lanes. Let's go, come on, everyone. Friday Arvo, let's get into it. So good practice for the weekend. Let's just say it's good practice for tomorrow, right?
Have the guys changed much in their setups to go from the 8th mile racing to the quarter mile racing this weekend? Have you spoken to a few of the teams?
No, well, Danny Lansdowne, I think, does go for a taller diff gear. He was running this up at Mackay on the weekend at Palmyra with Kenda. So was this RX8. Of course, Danny's business colleague Andy from Spot On, he was driving this car of Brent's last weekend. He had a double entered in Outlaw 275 and Renegade. So he was running that RX8 twice around. So it got
awesome.
It got 6 runs in qualifying and it got 6 runs in round 1. Pretty much. Well, hang on. No, 2 runs in round 1.
2, yeah.
But here they are.
We know what you meant.
Yeah, I know what I mean. Rail Extreme, quarter mile, 2JZ in the VL. This is qualifying and the LSA powered RX8. Sounds good, both sides of the race. Oh, Danny Lansdowne, 689, 203 mile an hour for the wagon, 116 in the 60, 449 to half track, and an 862 for Brent Coles in the bad temper. But Danny Lansdowne, 689 for the wags. That's got to give the team confidence.
A great half track there, 449, as you said, 689, 203 mile an hour, Danny Lansdowne. He goes to that early number one spot here in Radial Extreme.
Yeah, Radial Extreme's going to have a variety of different combos. Isn't it funny? Radial racing is already diverse in Australia, but then Jambo gets extra diverse because we do see a lot of 2JZ or import versus domestic, V8 versus non-V8 cars. Of course, Jambo all those years ago was just celebrating the non-V8s. But isn't it funny that now we've kind of embraced the, you know what, we'll embrace the V8s. We still love it when a small engine beats a V8 anyway. So it's nice to actually create an environment where import can race domestic. And hey, little do we know that, of course, in Maryland for more than many years, the World Cup finals has had import versus domestic as its core business model. And we've been unconsciously doing it for a few years here at Jambo ourselves. So, yeah, those planets align perfectly as far as events are concerned. And you know what? You don't get EH Holdens with turbo LSs in the United States. God bless this car.
I just like the fact that we get to see him run over the quarter mile, because it's very rare that we get to see these guys race quarter mile in the radials. So, Reese Carkeet here in the H, about to move forward. No one in the lane beside him.
That might be the end of our Radial Extreme qualies for now.
Well, we had a few entered. There's at least about 10 entered in the Radial Extreme bracket this weekend.
Might have a few more come up in for tomorrow. So Q1, some people might have to miss for Friday commitments. But Reese Carkeet already tested this afternoon. Let's have a look. A couple of good wheelies today already. Just looks so good, doesn't it? 764, 181 mile an hour for an EH Holden, hey? On a Friday afternoon, Mark. It's pretty special to see. And that's Radial Extreme for now by the look of it. Oh, hold the phone. Not for now. That's got to be more Radial Extreme coming forward now. Yes, sir, it is. Can't wait to see Vader back again. It's had so much success already at Kenda with Aaron Gregory driving it for Richie Kirkbeck. But this is Trent Blaney, from Bayswater, Victoria, the new owner, presumably, of the Vader. So from Richie Kirkbeck to Trent Blaney now driving Vader for the first time. So I suppose when you'll go, and you know what, price-wise, for those people, if you could find the ad still on Marketplace where this was for sale, you would know how much they were asking for it. I'm not even going to disclose it because I don't know what Trent's paid for it. But what it was initially for sale for, where even when you crunch the numbers and added it up, you knew it was a bargain. It's still a bargain you couldn't afford.
I want to know the number was now.
All right. Okay, hang on a sec. Turn this off for a sec. Ready? But it's good to see Trent's made a good purchase there and a few bucks in. But again, do your sums. Done by one of the best shops in the country / the world. Tested and proven by the same guy, owned by another guy that through medical reasons couldn't race the thing. And now Trent Blaney is obviously fit and ready to go and take Vader to the next level from Bayswater, Victoria. 562 cubic inches, twin turbo, big block Chev on that Radial Extreme. All right, Street 289 to the lanes, lane 5. Modified 10.5 to the lanes, please, lane 2. Modified 10.5 to lane 2, please. Modified 10.5 Q1 to lane 2. Street 289, please. Street 289 to the lanes, please. Pay attention, everyone. If you're, it's qualifying time. Get to the lanes when you're called. Street 289, modified 10.5, and final call, Street 289. All right, got it in there. Is the thing still running? I don't know, but it bumped in. Thing has turned off. Just distracting in the background. The big bomber, not the big bomber, the big transport plane flew over the back there just at where Trent was going into stage. Quick little check of everything. He has not budged, so that's one benefit.
It looks like it's fired back up now.
Okay, so look, it's into stage. If he can get himself readjusted here and just go, I think if he can just go, he's just explaining to him, you're in stage, don't roll, just go and send it. Light it up. Your reaction time will be abysmal, but you will get some measurements here. All right, so he came out of the hole and he did get some short times there. 1:21 in the 60 foot, 3:81, 3:30 from there, but was about to probably break those tyres loose. So Vader's decided, I'm going to keep calling it Vader, even though it's Trent Blaney, the car itself. Beautiful Nova, by the way. No expense on that vehicle, and Trent, the new custodian of that vehicle. It is a crazy build, but hey, right on screen now. You talk about crazy builds. We saw this one debut at Kenda. It's on our screens now. That's fantastic. Holden Gemini, owned and driven and built by Dan Swanee. Of course, Swanee, they used to have an SR20 in it, and it never had a chassis in it like it's got now. But he said it's 8 years in the build, the current build, and here it is. It's no longer SR20 powered. It is a little state-of-the-art 235 radial car with a turbo LS on board. And if you catch this car with its clip off, I mean, the engineering's beautiful. Like when you look at this car of Swanee's, I mean, you can go and look at nearly every other car here at Jambo, you're going to say the same thing about the build quality. That's the encouragement we give people to say, get to the track, get to the venue in person and go and see these things with the clothes off. We can't show you that on the TV when they go racing. You've got to come and see it to really appreciate what's under the clip of that little Holden Gemini driven by Dan Swanee. Remember, I've seen pictures of Reece Carkeet's ex-Casper car as well. Have you seen that?
I was about to mention that Gemini, actually.
Yeah.
It looks mint.
Man, I want to see both of them in the same picture together. They're the baddest Geminis in the world, and yeah, they call them Opel Cadets in other parts of the world, I think in Europe and Brazil. But here is Dan Swanee, first hit in Radial Extreme this afternoon on a little 235 radial. Can't fit much more in there.
We've seen McCarthy was actually just in front of us, but all eyes on Swanee here. Gets out. 1-2-4 to the 60 foot.
Went out pretty decently, but didn't seem to shift gears. 1-2-4 in the 60 foot, and it was making some steam, but then half track 5:27 at 1:06. Got this thing into the 4-second zone, deep into the 4-second zone at Kenda, didn't he? After a series of runs of testing, the little Gemini sort of found its mojo and got deep into the fours on its debut event.
It's unfortunate. We saw McCarthy pushing through as well, so he won't get a lap here in Q1 of Radial Extreme. So we've had 5 cars down the track.
That's a shame. That's a shame that the hatchback couldn't come out. Call him Matty McCandles. 864 cubes of nitrous on that, so we've missed out today for that, unfortunately, whatever issue. We're now into Are we still in Radial Extreme or J275? I think we're in J275. BRP Transmission Coolers, Radial Extreme. Matty Lampard from Warrnambool in Victoria. This is another guy that did All-Stars Drag and Drive 5 weeks ago. Did Kenda before that. And he just loves the place. Matthew Aegis, he was up at Palmyra last weekend having a go at Kenda, and now here he is over the quarter. That 377 cubic inch Holden bumping in against that 427 cubic inch LS. Bit of bump city here too, why not?
He's flickering that bottom bulb, he's in, gets out, Lampard.
All right, look good to half track, 493 for Aegis, 133 for him, 134 for Lumper, but he knocked the tyre straight off it after that. Half track, 593, 153. But that's the start of our J275 category, brought to us by, well, it is Meals Concrete Pumping. So Radial Extreme was BRP, but yeah, Meals Concrete Pumping. Of course, Grantley Schloss, of course, Grantley. Steve Farrelly now, Billy Abdu. There is a mix of real tough street car in J275. We've already seen a couple. This one of Billy Abdu went 765 today, that Mustang has gone. Steve Farrelly, of course, the Barra-powered VL Commodore, deep into the 7-second zone as well. So Ford 6-powered VL Commodore, small block Ford-powered hatch fastback Mustang. So more bump city early on. But the radial classes do give us a lot of that. Remember, we're in that sort of quali mode, remember, so none of these rival matchups have come up yet. So we're just in quali. It looks like racing, but it's qualifying. We're just trying to get a number. Don't worry about win lights. It's all about just trying to get a number on the board. And still practicing going into battle right now. So this is just as important to get the start line right. Geez, every time Steve hits the pedal, that thing knocks the tyres off. 8:05 will do. Look at the speed mark. 177 out the back for the fastback. 8:05 with a big pedal, but Billy decided, you know what, it's a run-saving moment, and he does it. 14:11 off the roll. Big zings for Steve Farrelly.
Nice and close to the top of them. Age is still number one with an 8:04.
Yeah, might be holding for too long.
Yeah.
You don't think. If any of these guys can get their act together, and as we said, we're at the end of that day now where we've had as much heat as you would assume we can get on a track now, being 3:15.
It's probably the toughest part of the day for the radial guys to get down the racetrack here at Jamboree. And you know what? It's really important that you do try and find a tune-up in these conditions, because we do have racing on Sunday at this sort of time as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. The scenarios we're creating here, we're trying to get everyone into that mood Friday now. So you're not learning here tomorrow afternoon about it. You get a taste of it now, especially all of our higher horsepower categories. So out here now is Fatigue, Setnay, of course, from Bossley Park in New South Wales. The 2JZ, the Ashay, is it the Akai, ACAI? Asai, like Asai, that's how I remember it. And of course, Kebab House. Every time I look at this car, I'm hungry. Like, I'm hungry for dinner and dessert. And I think one year Fatigue brought it up to us. Ahan, I think, was the dad. This is Fatigue, the son. Look at this. You've got a crew of 7. Remember, you're only allowed 7 on the line. They all did their job. Then you notice that? They went to that Supra like a finely polished machine. Hatch went up, CO2 went on, more smoke out of the cabin, and now off to the front to guide Fatigue here. Now, he's up against Andy Cole's driving Grantley's hatchback Tirana. The LX got licence plate Pump It. Thanks. Meals Concrete Pumping. The Pump It licence plates. Import versus domestic right here on a 275. Might have to soften the hatchback up though. It's been a bit angry on the 275s today. We haven't seen the 2J powered Super on them today either. Tell you what, it dangled them all the way to half track, 479 to half track, and a 736. 736 for Andy Coles. That's number 1 so far in J275. The Pump It hatchback Tirana. What's the PB with that car, Grantley? Because 736 at 188 mile an hour.
That's a good lap in these conditions.
That is some good stuff out there. Fatigue 1237 couldn't get the thing hooked up. But look, it's quality. You can. Well, that hatchback needed a little bit of something, a little soften up there, because it didn't really particularly like those 275s the first couple of test hits, but it liked it then. Andy, as I said, there's so many laps last week up there at Kenda in the RX8. Danny, plenty of practice in the WAG. So the Spot On team are very, very pumped. Here's another team too that now. Well, we've seen Reece Carkeed out there in the EH. The guy that was at the door helping him was this guy, Bailey Simpson, because he's good mates of Reece and gets to drive one of the Carkeet family cars. This is the nitrous oxide 434 hatchback, doesn't mind being on the back tyres. Same as Will Yarwood, 2JZ in the Corolla. Yeah, that's got Aussie radial diversity right here.
Does Yarwood usually have a Supra?
He has, but this is the new Dragon Drive car. Oh, Bailey. 045 off the tree, but here comes that 2J at half track, starting to reel him in by 1,000 foot. He's right there, 824 to an 846. Yarwood 171 mile an hour out the back in a KE20 Corolla, 171, 138 and a 60. Bailey Simpson is a bit of a gun off the tree. But J275, a proud Australian-owned business, Meals Concrete Pumping. Build a strong reputation for reliability, innovation and delivering quality service across major construction projects. J275, here's one of our stars of the scene. And he feels conflicted that he doesn't mind me geeing him up, because I do think he's a modern day hero in his own way, the Hoff, with his creations and what he does. But he also worried about failing on the big stage on too many occasions. But he said, just do you, Hoff. So here we are. And beside him, Ben Robertson. What can you say? Commodore fans, like HSVs, VZ Clubbies, whatever, this is one schmick ride deal.
I love the lines on those
it's
Commodores.
A beautiful car, especially the wing, the right radial tyre on it, the jewellery on the front. Bit of bump in, double bump in again here, bit of bump city. 2J versus LS on a 275. Hoffman straight away just dead hooks it and does the wheelie. And he's going to go out in front of Ben Robertson. We can have a little replay, surely, of the Hoff. We can throw a little quick replay of the Hoff on the leave if we've got him. But off the button here, bit of 2J versus LS. And here we go, Hoff off the tree. This is how Hoff's 2026 campaign starts off on a Friday, Arvo. Ready? Up. Yeah. He did a beautiful power stand at All Stars a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I've got a photo of him and Silky. Silky out there, still up in the Dado box up there. All of our Dado guys are up there. Silky, Adams, Vic McGregor, they're all up here. There's a photo I've got of Hoff panel van in a wheelie with Silky in the Dado wagon beside him, side-by-side wheelies there, and it just looks so epic. Hoff did this epic one in Things about 5 weeks ago, and he said, I did the tune-up, I knew when the power was coming on, I knew I was ready for it, and he said, I just kind of rode it knowing that it wasn't going up any further. And he hung that thing to half track on the wheel stand, Hoffman, with that thing. So when you know the car so intricately because you tune it, all those little things into it, as a driver, for you to remember that and then drive almost trusting it, because he always keeps doubting himself, Hoff. It's like, dude, don't let that creep in, mate. Don't ruin the delicate genius that is, and wouldn't be Jambo without him. But righto, Peter Fernandez now from Wallachia in New South Wales. J275 with a different twist. It's an RX-8, but don't let it fool you. It's a 2JZ from Gas on board. Another 6-second potential here. Right now, it's a small block Chev hatchback on the pole, 736 from Andy Coles. But here comes Peter's reply. P&P Civil, his sponsor. 2JZ on that 275 radial tyre. So let's have a look here.
Well, Colesy was 479 to half track on that 736, so that's the number you want to look for at half track anyway.
No, just the big zing that time. It does promise so much, radial racing, doesn't it? When it works, you know, especially when you see it stick for about 100 foot. If you're used to seeing radial cars occasionally when they're testing zing the tyres, the next time you see it, when it does all work, you truly appreciate it. It's 100 foot out and it's hooked up. You know the rest is going to be a pretty decent send. And, you know, we can't always get what we want. So sometimes that's why you get the little teaser in one run and then the epic run makes up for it. And by the end of 3 days, you'll be needing the week off like we all do. We need a week off after Jambo. We should lobby the Queensland government. We need another public holiday. What is it? Jambo Day.
Now we're moving into qualifying session number 1 of Street 289.
Yeah, Cranked Motorsport bringing us Street 289. And the 28.9 tyre rule exists where you can run a 28.9 slick. And why not start with a couple of Datsun 1200 utilities?
Cranked Motorsport's also bringing us the live stream this weekend as well here at the Garrett Advancing Motion Jamboree.
Thank you, Crank Motorsport, for your 2026 assault on the Jambo. So guess what? I watch a bit of South African drag racing. They call these things Nissan Champs in South Africa. So a couple of Nissan Champs out there right now. We don't have the field up yet. We haven't got the names in yet, so we've got to just reset that, I think. Okay, another call to the lanes, please. Another call to the lanes. Modified 10.5 to the lanes, lane 2. Modified compact to lane 3 and 4. So modified 10.5 to staging lane 2. Modified 10.5 staging lane 2. Modified compact to the lanes, please. Modified compact to the lanes, please. Modified compact, lanes 3 and 4. There we go. Jamie Irwin from the Northern Territory, the Dado from Marlow Lagoon, and Chris Adams from Carina in Brisbane. Wow. Welcome, Jamie Irwin, to 2026 Garrett Advancing Motion Brisbane Jamboree. Doesn't say what 2-litre he's got in it. But how's that? Northern Territory, Mark Allen.
That is commitment right there.
We've got WA guys here too.
Let's see how they go here. Q1 for Street 289.
Oh, that's not the start. That's not what we want. He's dumped some transmission fluid, I reckon. Adams goes. That's no good at all. Jamie, 8.56 for Chris Adams, and he's through the other end, safe and sound. But look, Jamie, the car still runs, but I'm sure he's given it a little tiny hit there. So look, as he was trying to spool that up, right? He's trying to spool that up. Started to smoke, so I can only assume by that we've got a transmission oil leak there that I would say has happened, and it's either lunched the gearbox completely or broken a fitting off it. But we have seen sometimes fluid leaks, if it's transmission fluid leaks, can turn into a big fire. We're just glad that didn't happen. But we're still not deciding, we haven't quite worked out exactly what it is other than maybe perhaps transmission fluid. Got some reports coming through there from Dave Reed. And there's some componentry on the ground.
Yeah, I can see some chunks of something down there.
And that it could be definitely transmission based by the look of that. But that is a shame there for Jamie. But look, let's just see what can happen from there. I know that's a lot of destruction, but remember you're in probably one of the most talented pit areas, and when it comes to parts and gearboxes and whatever. But geez, that has just absolutely lunched everything, I would say, in that gearbox. You would say, if indeed it's the transmission. Again, if we were down there and we could smell it, we'd be able to tell you pretty well straight away if it's transmission fluid.
Well, I think it was still running, so that's.
Oh, so it can't be really engine.
You'd think. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to need some patching in that lane, definitely. But that is an absolute shame. Look, it'd be interesting to know what sort of engine he's packing in there. What the gearbox. I'm not going to say what the gearbox is anymore. I'm just going to say what the gearbox was. You know, you can't say, what gearbox is it? You go, well, what gearbox was it? If indeed it is that part of it. We do have a pretty in-depth pit area here. And look, honestly, if those guys were able to, relay to us what they may need or what if they do feel like they want to fix it, being from Northern Territory.
And the fact that we've got a couple of days.
And we are literally got the rest of today, and, we are near Brisbane and, Ipswich and Southeast Queensland, that whatever they might need, if we can possibly help them, we will. You absolutely know we will. And if the help isn't already going to reach out to them, we're putting that out there now, that if anyone can offer them help, if they need it. I mean, it's a big trek to come from the Northern Territory down here. All right, we've got a replay of the moment. All right, so he was staging against Chris Adams. So a Queensland versus Northern Territory Datsun 1200. And he's bringing it up on the converter and he's stalling it up. And just as he goes to let go of the button, look, he gave it a little nudge, the Dado, but it had left the chat. The transmission had definitely left the chat. And Chris still went there through for a mid 8-second run. But the weakest link comes out sometimes, and whatever that gearbox was, if anyone can help with, and sometimes it can just be someone with a project mark and they're nearly finishing it and they've already got things like a transmission ready or something like that. That sort of stuff can be very valuable to help a racer out. You'd certainly ask yourself, if you're in that situation, would I go looking for something to help fix it? You secretly in your mind don't want to be out there running around asking everyone, but you just love it to turn up at your pits. Don't you? You just kind of wish that someone turns up and goes, oh, do you need a hand? Oh, yes, can you help me? It was like there before on the way. So in between the inquiry about pit allocations, I then had the Dib or one of the Tail brothers come up and say, oh, can you help us with a diff center? We've got some diff gears coming up. We're changing diff gears, but do you know anyone might be able to change centers over for us? And so I went straight over. I saw Dave Hillman there and Kevin Morton. And said, anyone can help with diff stuff, talk to these guys, they're going to probably help you hook up with something there. So we're already trying to get the network going already for some people needing some help, but this is some bigger trouble
That's the guy I go to every time I need help. Kevin.
Yeah, well, Kevy is just that mate that you just keep going to.
Yeah.
Not everyone's got a Kevy in their lives, have they? I mean,
I know he's got to come have a look at some stuff with me at some point over the weekend.
Cluey Kevies, you just can't find one. So you're looking for a Cluey Kev. In this case, of course, it's your mate Kevy, and he's a good mate of mine too. Kevy, of course. Yeah, we go way back. I mean, well, I'm looking to further increase my friendship with Kevy on a day-to-day basis till I get to that stage where he might see some time to do stuff, which could be 4 years away. Good friends.
He's booked out for.
I know. Good friends
months.
are booked out for a long time. The good friends. But that was not the prettiest of let goes there at all. And the crumbs, the business that's come down there. I mean, by all indications, we're doing a really good job of getting that area dealt with. As we said, like it's when you prep a track now, it becomes this membrane. It's a rubber membrane. So sometimes that's good because guess what happens when you dump oil on a membrane? It doesn't soak. You know what I mean? We're not soaking it into a surface anymore. It sits there on that surface. So it is as good as trying to just remove it from the top of that surface, knowing that it hasn't impregnated. The only time then that it might is if we are introducing a solvent to it to try and get up what's there. Then that can get in there. So, look, we are trying to get that back to a non-oily scenario. And right now the focus is, we've rubbed up everything we could out of the excess. To add insult to injury for Jamie was the bump into the wall. The introduction to the Willowbank start line, you don't get a bigger baptism of fire for that. I think he stopped it.
I think he stopped it, yeah. Considering how hard and how quick it turned on him, he did all right there not to touch anything.
I mean, it's a Dado 1200. You can knock them around a bit, mate. They're pretty tough little things. But as I said, in South Africa, they're called Nissan Champs, and they've got quite the following as well.
It's crazy. Every time you're talking about all the different countries you watch on YouTube with drag racing.
Oh, it fills my life up, mate. It fills my life up.
How's the commentary from South African commentators?
He's very hard. He's very direct in exactly what he is saying for the cause.
Yep.
He comes right in there and tells you it's a 2JZ and it's run a hard 7 second time.
Okay, what about the Puerto Rican commentators? How do they go?
Está in the Buenaventos. Está in the 13B. Don't start me, mate. I've got a whole thing there.
Okay, we're in Orlando now. How are the Americans?
Well, Alan Reinhardt's there. Well, it's coming up to the line there. A lot of two-stepping. I tell you what, I've seen more flame than that on July 4th.
I'll stop.
Al. No, you could. It's good that you're starting to tickle me on Friday.
Yeah,
what happens when Rusty gets here. We all get out of control. And I did vow to, pace ourselves through the weekend, but it's nice that you asked. It's now I think one of them is CCD Media. He's a South African YouTuber, and there is a track over there called Tarlston, Tarlston, and they do regional championships. So there's a lot of Nissan Champ. There's a lot of 2JZ in there. There is a Dado 1200 or Nissan Champ utility, and it's still got the original A series engine, which is the original pushrod engine. It's the fastest A series in the world. It runs high nines, which honestly, this is Jambo, man. High nines. Come on, please, right? But in South Africa, when you think about it, it's a little 1400cc engine, pushrod, turbocharged. A lot of them are all H patterns. A lot of them are all stick shift. And this thing does massive wheelies, first and second, and it does everything in a nice little runs like 990s, 970s. Mate, it's very entertaining to still watch. I get just as much a kick out of watching a 9-second car that does a few things like that. Like there's a lot of action in 10 seconds you can do with a car. And these little cars are fantastic. They've got a lot of Golf GTR. They've got a lot of Audi. That's all over the world now. In Europe now, Sweden. They have these. They have test days in Sandaport called Yam Yam, which is a tuning mob over there that have test days, and 30, 40 cars turn up. And again, if you're into your Golfs or your Audis or your front-wheel drives, they're all testing like more than ever. The recreational testing and competition. Again, I'm not watching professional drag racing in my spare time. I'm watching all the amateurs all over the world finding their mark on a track, and just what's out there is incredible. And look, they're going to be hard pressed to overtake what happens here at Willowbank and Jambo as far as awesomeness is concerned. But they watch this stuff as well. Big shout out to everyone that's watching, and it's nice that we're all tuned into the same wavelength. Like even Brazil at the moment, like Velo Park is a beautiful little 8th mile. They love their 8th mile drag racing, Brazil. of course, home of Fueltech. So, yeah, you can see that is strong. They run their Chevettes or their little Opel Cadets, which is the equivalent of the Geminis. They got their own unique car, which is the Impala, which is like a mini. I talked about this before. A mini Chevelle with the 6-cylinder inline, the pushrod inline 6-cylinder. They all run. They're on radials and a stick shift, and they run low 7s, high 6s with that engine. So there's a lot of wild stuff, and of course Sydney Frigo and all those guys are going back to Brazil. And I think he reset the door car record over there last week, 357. And they're all blowing up about that because, Stevie Fast has gone to Brazil to help them and everything like that. So there's a lot of quick pro mod, a lot of quick import style cars over there. Kaká Dowd, which is the 4-cylinder that went 381 over there.
Did you mention that Fueltech's from Brazil?
Yes.
I didn't realise that. There you go.
No, well, I mean, Anderson, and there's a good story about Anderson Dick, the founder of Fueltech.
Fueltech's one of our presenting partners this weekend.
Yep.
So that's good to know.
And he's up to the FT700 now, which I think Gas has got in their Celica. But Brazil, it's almost mandatory you got to run one. I'm sure. Sean Cartwright sending me a picture there of a Barra, and it just say no. It's an RB killer. Come on, we can't. I mean, we don't want to kill them. You try and kill them, you won't kill them. But that's from a Barra lover there. That's a Barra lover sending us through a little sticker. Here's our roaming. Who's roaming? Is that must be Brad? Brad on the sniper. We thought it was the work experience kid. He's been getting some great. Mike, your opportunity right now to give yourself an identity for the rest of the weekend. Should we call you Roving Mike? The Roving Mike. There we go. Roving Mike. Roving Mike's going to go and roam. A little bit later on. He already did a bit of colour for us. So this was our opportunity to nearly get to every car in Jambo that we've never had the opportunity to. Because, logistically, swapping rosters here and taking someone to do it takes more setup. But if you let Roving Mike just capture all the ambience, and we put it on the big screen, and that's not just for everyone here, that's for everyone right around the world. As I said, I do encourage people to turn up in person and see it for yourself. So what we're offering is, again, a free service, which may discourage you from coming. But, hey, can't say we haven't covered it. Can't say you haven't covered this bigger than ever before. Every year we just feel like we're 5% bigger every year. We don't see 25% increases year to year like we were in the late 90s, early thousands, exponential rise in performance. We're now sort of plateauing to the point that, we all know where the marks are. And we can stay near those marks fairly.
It's a bit of history tonight under the lights for Jamboree on a Friday night.
Yep. And here's another. And again, sometimes let's talk about the here and now. Right in our picture now is one of our OG Jambo competitors, and we're talking about Silky, Michael Silk. This little Dado 1200 wagon, and thanks to all the people in South Africa, Nissan Champ. Dado 1200 wagon has been 7s with an SR20. So this car's evolved from 10-second car, 9-second car, 8-second car, 7-second car. And beside him, of course, the world's quickest Toyota Cressida with Shane Crichton from Louth Park in New South Wales. Silky from Narangba on our side of the river, the north side. He's been north side boy. We have to turn something. Do we turn on the CO2? I don't know what we're to turn on there, Silky. It'd be right now. Hey? There won't ever be a 6-second Datsun 1200 wagon, but he's honestly, if you can go back and see all the wheelies Silky's done at Jambo in the past, he is one of our staples. This car, he's in Street 289, brought to us by Crank Motorsport, and up against Shane Crichton. As we said, the 3-litre 2J 1J combo, the ultimate. He's normally can be on a radial, but he might be on a 28.9 right now. Looking for second gear. There's Silky as it brings all out on the converter. Hey, 840, 168 mile an hour street car. I mean, that's crazy.
Did it easy. It almost sounded a little bit lazy down there.
It did. It was a bit slippy, wasn't it? It was a bit slippy. Thanks, Rob Armstrong. He's watching the live stream and repairing his broken gearbox from Kendall last weekend. So there we go. Sean Cartwright's on the message here. You don't need to, Cam. So here's a bit of Intech love coming. A bit of Intech love coming in the future. There's the Barra, then there's the Intech. So thanks, Sean, for your for your input. It's exciting to see other cars in the build ready to achieve their Drambo dreams one day. Pat Long and Eric Sliger, they are living the dream. Here they are on a Friday. One Burrell, New South Wales, Pat Long, and from Orange in New South Wales, Eric Sliger. So a couple of our interstaters travelling up here. Street 289. It's the little excitement class sometimes, isn't it, Mark?
Well, they've got that equaliser there with the tyre as well, so lots of power. Lots of power here for the Street 289 class.
Simon Krieger reckons these engines are cute. Thank you, Craigs. Don't be so motorist. Don't be dissing the capacity, mate. I know you'd love a few cubes in here, but you can get spanked, you know. That's why people love it when the small engine can spank a big engine. Yes, we need turbos on them and whatever, but hey, they're wild. Street 289. Oh, early click for Sligar, still goes 7.38 at 167, 7.46 for Pat Long. There was a lot of spinning and carry on, hassling that little 28.9 off the hit. 128, 127 in the 60, so they both hassled that little 28.9. But how well do they grip when they come out? They are deceptive, these little 28.9 cars. You think they're all just going to wheel spin forever, and they don't. They get hooked up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Sligo does later on this weekend on a full lap as well. At 7.30, only 160 mile an hour there across the finish line. Pat Long, 7.46, 180 mile an hour.
That blows my mind with Sligo. If that all does what we think it's going to do, will we ever see a 6-second 28.9 car? That'd be crazy.
It was, I think it was 470 to half track on that pass. So it probably needs to be around the mid 450s, high 450s. It's going to have to keep up with the 200 mile an hour.
Modified compact to lanes 3 and 4. Modified compact to lanes 3 and 4. Modified 10.5 to lane 2. Modified 10.5 to lane 2, please.
I definitely think it'd be achievable.
Well, I mean, the horsepower is out there. It's just how light you can get the things and get them to hook up.
That's the big challenge, obviously.
All right, Dib Toyul from Belmore in New South Wales and from Innes Park in in Queensland, Carl Herbert. 20 Bs, both sides of the racetrack on a 28.9. Carl's had this car for ages and is also known for, hassling that little 28.9 early in the run and then, gripping and picking them up. If it doesn't spin too much, she'll be on those wheelie bars, guaranteed. Q1's got some wild stuff in Street 289 thanks to Crank Motorsport. Good crowd in the house Friday afternoon for quali. Screaming 20 Bs disappearing into the Willowbank finish line. 8.27 at 170. 7.89 for Dib.
Dib was 122 in the 60 foot, so that was one of the quickest 60s we'd seen in the Street 289 class so far today.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah, Dib will go to number 3 spot in qualifying here at the moment.
Terry has arrived for the late shift.
Moose Selena on track in the RX-7 for Hertzfield Towing.
Yeah, that's Moose Sakina. A slip of the keys. A slip of the keys.
Yeah, I was just reading the computer screen.
I do
like.
like.
Not even thinking about that.
I do like that. That's a nice sound to it.
Yeah,
it does roll off the tongue.
Sorry, Moose. They've got Selena here in front of us.
Now, last night I did see that they broke fourth gear in the Liberty, and I think Tony, the ghost Grigich, was helping them with the gearbox, a cluster change, a gear change. So the gearbox has been fixed. Craig has just said they're fast little efforts. Yes, that's true. They are Craig's. Craig's bagging them and waving his big cubic inch hammer all over them and realising that occasionally they can bite. And he says, yes, they're fast and slippery little suckers. All right, Moose Sakina, Street 289. Expect something, again, spectacular from Moose. Something in the 7s. We'd expect 289 to come too. Wasn't 100% happy off the line, as we said, but he still got power through the end. 8.01 at 169 mile an hour. Yeah, I don't see too many of them dead hooking a 28.9 and coming out with perfect traction. I see a lot of wheel spin and carry on, but I keep changing gears and it just gets quicker and quicker and quicker. All right. All right, modified 10.5. That's explaining our wild Mustang entry here, and it is. I think I saw Lee with this car. Is he? All right, okay. Well, he's come out in a different category. How did he escape that? Let's have a look. It does say, well, actually, we'll pop back. It says we're back to Radio Extreme. We'll actually pop back to that. So, there we go. What was on the schedule. Obviously, we've had a little intervention and maybe a couple of radial lingerers by the look of this, and we've spotted them. We've spotted them on the stream and we've spotted them out there. So, there we go. We're trying to find back into Radial Extreme. There we are. Lee Dark. Well, I'll tell you what, Lee Dark. I remember this as the ex-Rob Coleman Mustang was for sale for a long time. And Lee's never surprised me with these occasional... He's bought a few cars over the years, Lee Dark, and he runs them and moves them on. And this thing's a beautiful piece of gear.
From memory, you ran the low 7s in Supercharged Outlaws when Coleman had the Mustang.
I thought it had a really stout small block in it with Rob. This has got a 522 big block on a radial. Let's... Oh, yeah. So just getting the hang of the Mustang. Had plenty of grunt on tap. But there's a quali there getting himself down. So, Lee Dark, a name we've known before from drag racing in Queensland and now here at Jambo with a blowing big block Mustang on a radial. There you go. Couldn't say I would have predicted that 12 months ago, but hey, 2026 Jambo is always going to throw us up the surprises. If it didn't surprise us, I'd be very surprised. You know what I mean? If Jambo never surprised me, that would surprise me. Oh, okay, no, that's fine. You've drawn up the results, you've scribbled some stuff out, wrote it again, scribbled some stuff out, wrote it again. And no, that's right, that's just fine, it's fine. Just the scribbling out, yeah, just good stuff.
Buddy Nasser now on the start line in the Holden. He was entered in J275.
Yes, I think we've had a couple of radial lingerers here. Yeah, so back to Meals Concrete Pumping J275. Another call now. Modified compact to lanes 3 and 4, please. Modified compact to lanes 3 and 4, please. Extreme to lane 2. Extreme Q1 to lane 2, please. Extreme to lane 2. Modified compact to lanes 3 and 4. All right, buddy. Whoa, pop. It's got some smoke out of it and it made a big popping noise as well, buddy. And that's a little 5.3 LS. It still goes 882 at 159, but it had all sorts of things going on. It came out, it was definitely working the converter hard, and then, went through the gears only lightly, and then I thought it might have been spinning, it started smoking, and then I definitely, as you might have seen...
I saw
boom!
Yeah.
Well, it's Jambo, we can't freak out at the first boom we hear, but it's always the first one that shocks us.
Well, it puts him into number 7 spot in qualifying at the moment. In the J275 class, we had 12 cars down the track here in qualifying session number 1. And obviously, we'll probably just check the racing surface, make sure it's clean of any debris down there. Then we're moving into qualifying session number 1 of Tuff Streeters, modified 10.5. Big thank you to Tuff Streeters. They're also one of our big supporters here at Jamboree this weekend, one of our presenting partners as well. Tuff Streeters is an Australian-born powerhouse in the car scene, built for true rev heads and driven by a passion for all things loud, fast, and unapologetically tough. From elite muscle car giveaways and full throttle media to a nationwide presence and exclusive member perks, they're all about bringing the Aussie car culture to life. Having already put millions of dollars worth of Tuff Street machines into their hands, I haven't had any Tuff Street machines put into my hands just yet.
No, not yet. As they say, you got to be in it to win it.
Well, they've got a reputation as one of the fastest growing forces in the game. It just isn't a brand; it's a movement fueling the next generation of horsepower.
And look, I was talking about it with Dave here earlier on today, and the reality is this: if you were to try and get yourself into the car scene these days and you look at what people are driving around in, and a lot of the times, you know, lucky enough, like houses, if you bought early enough, you could get some pretty cool cars for not much money. What's happened over the years is a lot of those things have got to a stage that, one, they're a bit rarer, two, they're really expensive. So if you wanted to ever get into the car scene point blank now, and you might be, you know, in your early 20s or whatever, and you can't see your car's a damn dear, right? If you're going to do it on wages, you'll never get there. We know it, right? Unless you save and save and save, and you do a lot of it yourself. So what a great idea to subscribe to something like Tuff Streeters. And you know what? Got to be in it to win it, and they give away those cars.
I see them popping up all the time.
And I can personally vouch for seeing 3 giveaway cars at the one event, and that was the road trip in Palmyra last year when 2 Tuff Streeters turned up, so both Queensland winners, the XY and the HK. And the old HQ for you from Street Machine, that was a giveaway 25 years ago. A guy restored it. There it was at Road Trip. So 3 giveaway cars. Everyone goes, oh, you know, this, that, and the other with, we don't know who wins it, that's this, that, and the other. The reality is, real people win these things. And guess where they'll end up? They'll end up at the next car scene with that. So you think if you'll never, ever afford to have a car like that, why not be in it to win it and be part of Tuff Streeters? So it's a hell of a movement. All right, here we go. Jason Scott, and we don't have a name for our VL beside us. Modified 10.5 board was by Tuff Streeters. Jason Scott out and gone. The mighty Barra screaming in the EL half track now, 5.15 all the way to the finish line, 7.92 at 177. Here comes the VL, 10.18, 146 mile an hour. And a whole lot of hassle on the start line, but 131 for the Falcon on the 10.5 tyre.
That was actually Steve Ramsey.
There we go. Oh, Steve. It was Steve.
Yep,
my
Steve
mate
Ramsey.
Steve Ramsey. Now, does it say, I think it's from South Australia, Steve Ramsey, or Victoria?
No, all I've got is just the name at the moment. Just,
Okay.
I had a quick look at the entry list here for us.
Right, okay. No, I think Steve is from Victoria or South Australia. So we've got a lot of interstaters here having a crack in at Jambo 2026. Modified 10.5, as we said, the rules a little bit different. Anything on a 10.5 tyre, pretty much. Piston rotor.
Yep, it's a heads-up full tree class.
V8s now, by the look of it, which is not too bad. Again, it brings in that whole import versus domestic, or V8 versus small engine, which I love. Anytime you can pinch another battle against someone.
The rules actually state 4, 5, 6 cylinder, 2 rotor or 3 rotor engine, so nothing about V8s in the rules.
Well, 2026, we've got to be you've got to be open-minded and inclusive, mate. It's all about being inclusive. It's all about diversity, cultural diversity. So if we do, and remember, J275, or Rated Extreme, is where that V8 was. So, if we do see the odd one in here on a 10.5, then we will alert the authorities. But, we thought the Mustang was, but it ain't. So
No, it was in the Radial Extreme.
that was a little test to make sure you're looking at the rules, Mark.
Yeah,
just to make
that's right,
sure.
mate.
All right,
I'm
better
on top
bump
of
in,
it.
double bump in here. Double RBs. Oh, no, Barra. This is Guy King, none other than Guy King on a 10.5. We've seen that Corolla go 460s in the 8th on a radial, and here's the 10.5 underneath it, if indeed he has changed to a 10.5, or whether he's still on a 275 radial, and deciding that he wants to run on a 10.5 in the 10.5 class. 8.30 for Nigel Hartis. That's a great little VL Calais from Googong. I'm going to learn a whole new lot of towns this year too, mate, from Googong in New South Wales. All those people watching live overseas, some of our names, like here's Rob Cady from Glenella, Northern Queensland. And burning out beside him in the Falcon is Ryan Peavy from Wivenhoe Pocket. The FG, doesn't the FG look good with the big Hoosier 10.5 under the back? 28 10.5. I can fit that under Gordito. I've got a set of 28 10.5s on a set of rims that fit under Gordito. I am 5 seconds probably slow off the pointy end of modified 10.5. See me frying. I love it. See me frying. His name's Ryan. See me Ryan. Ryan loves frying. So does Rob Cady. Of course, CQ rotary, the 13B. Liberty gearbox on board. Doesn't matter what gearbox, doesn't matter what combo you want to come to the lines with on a 10.5. fairly inclusive. And it's a full tree, so he gives them a chance to get out. Had another crack at it there. The barrow's too highly strung for the tyre, it appears. 780 for Rob. Nice run for Rob. 780. Let's see. Look, the top of the field's starting to bunch up a little bit.
Yeah, that'll put him up towards the top of the ladder there for Rob Cady.
A couple of Queenslanders up the top there. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Rob, Jason Scott, so 780 for Rob. Jason Scott, 792. And then Nigel from New South Wales with the 830. Trent Bink now on the line, and Po Tung. So this is a guy that's done it all in 10.5, Po Tung. The OG Supra up against Trent Bink from Mount Nathan in Queensland. Nightmare, the plate, you would assume. And you know what that thing's packing. It's 3 point, well, you would assume. I mean, we've got Anthony Matuk sort of giving it attention in that lane. So you can assume she's a 3.2 litre RB on board. But again, it's Jambo. You can't just assume. You can't, in today's society, you just can't see someone in a dress and assume it's a lady, you know what I mean? So you can't just look at a, you know what I mean? You can't just look at a VL and assume it's got a RB in it. You can't just assume what they identify as. He could have a barra in there, who knows? 3.2 litres with Anthony at the front. I'm betting on it's all a pretty about whole bunch of stout RB under there. 2JZ for the Super, of course, Po Tung. Let's see what their first run, modified 10.5, looks like on a Friday afternoon. Friday night lights for the first time ever. Feels like Saturday Arvo, Mark. That's what it feels like.
You shouldn't have said anything about the V8s, but I'm getting messages from people saying, make sure there's no V8s in the class.
No, well, I haven't seen one yet. Unless you identify as one. You carry 2 spark plugs in the glove box. All right, boys. Whoa, 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 whoa. 1, 2, 3. Oh, half track for Poe. Now comes the power. 490 at half track. 742 early shoot. 742, 167 early shoot. 138. Yeah, nothing to write home about getting the 10.5 off the line. They can be a little tricky. They're like a 28.9, you know what I mean? There's going to be a little bit of, you know, on a 28.9 slick, you can spin them a little bit, but they don't like too much in the way of spin. And I think Trent had just a little bit too much on board. It is a power management thing, isn't it? Isn't it lovely to live in a world where back in the day at Jambo, there was no such thing as power management. Power management was just the tune you had in the car.
And I wonder how many of these cars that are spinning here in Q1 weren't here testing, so...
He definitely. Both those guys hadn't tested today from memory.
A lot of these teams, it's going to be their first hit of the weekend. Obviously, the teams that have taken advantage of the testing here during the week, they're one step ahead of everyone already.
They're also probably $1,500 more out of pocket because if you're paying for test days, they're not cheap.
Plus, you know, the time off work.
I'm exaggerating the money.
Consumables.
It just depends how many pay for testing as to your price ultimately. Yep. But yeah, that's a lot of extra money and effort and time off work to want to come up and do it. And isn't it funny that even now today's reality is that we are seeing people do that on Wednesdays now, where you never would have. It was a weekend thing. Drag racing was a weekend thing, not a Wednesday thing.
Well, drag racing used to always have that rule that you weren't allowed to test.
Yes, that's right.
As well.
Another way to hold the sport back. Another archaic, oh, he can't test. You know what, that was all coming from races that were too tight to test. Didn't want anyone to have an advantage over them if that meant running something on a Wednesday. Yes, it was easy to fight with the rule book back then. The rule book actually helped. But these days, it's a free-for-all. You can nearly test on every day of the week in Sydney, it seems, eh?
Well, that's the advantage of when it's your home track, that you don't, in theory, you've got a lot of laps at your home track that you don't need to take advantage of the testing. But if you're going interstate to a track that you don't test at or run at too often, well, you're going to try and take advantage of the chances there that if there is testing before the event. All right, here we go. Next up, Kareem Amraz and Brett Young here. Young in the VL. He's already in pre-stage, just waiting on Kareem to move forward. The Mazda with Haltech.
Yes, but look, we haven't seen too many 13Bs on in MTF. You know, it was mainly a VL class, but now Brett Young in there. The VL, real sleeper, isn't it? JW on the side. And 13B on a 10.5 now for Kareem. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Both having their own ways down the racetrack. Half track 5.08 for Kareem, half track 5.51 for Brett. Kareem Ilford early 8.94, 8.55 for Brett Young.
That was just a nice clean pass there for Brett Young, 8.55. He goes to number 5 here in qualifying, 10 cars down the track. So far in modified 10.5, Potong still a number 1 qualifier, and Kareem Emraz with that 8.94. He'll go to number 6 qualifier here in qualifying session number 1. And next up, Phil Penny in the Honda. Taking on, well, we haven't got a name for our competitor in the lane beside Phil Penny. It's competitor 3125.
I think he's from Team Karam, and look, I remember seeing this VL last year. I got a bit of a what's his name?
It might be Fred Karam because...
Could be Freddie? Okay.
3129 is an entrant, and then we've got 3125 on the screen, so maybe they've just hit 5 instead of the 9 by accident.
I've got a bit of a crush on this VL, purely because it is a bit more serious race car. You can see it's got the Perspex windows, the funny car cage, it sits a lot lower, and it's tubbed. Like, when's the last time you've seen a car with big tyres underneath, big tubs? Phil Penny, that normally reliable little 2J Honda, is stranded a couple of 100 foot out from the burnout, and that beautiful little car with that beautiful, I shouldn't say little man, he's a lovely bloke, Phil. Phil's on the right side of 60 plus years old, and that little Honda, I didn't think it'd be that hard to push back, but yeah, that's either lost fire or lost the gears. So we've got to now get Phil back. Isn't it funny? Look at 2 normal-sized blokes standing on each side of the Honda. You just realise how small the car is. Can we get Extreme to lane 2, please? Extreme. Extreme to lane 2, please. Extreme to lane 2, please. That's another text coming through from Race Control. If you hear that little text in the background, that's sending a text out to all the racers and relaying it to us so we can tell everyone. Extreme to staging lane number 2, please. Is that still running or is it off? It'd be a shame if it's off. All motor to staging lane 3 now, please. All motor to lane 3. All motor. All motor to lane 3.
Here's Fred Karam. Buzz the tyres there on the hit for Karam, so he will roll on through here for a 10-second pass at 99 miles an hour.
Geez, you can't get enough drama, can we? Hey, we've had a bloke lunch the gearbox, sort of, second group in or whatever, and now we've got poor Phil with the engine just shutting off or whatever, and not good for Phil. Extreme to staging lane 2, please. Extreme to staging lane 2, and now all motor Q1 to lane 3. All motor Q1 to lane 3, please. So modified 10.5 brought to us by Tuff Street is continuing to show, nearly over a dozen already on that 10.5. Yeah, Ollie's watching the stream at home. No, Phil, no. Here's Angry 3. It is a beautiful RX3 coupe out there now. Normally when we've got this little delay, when we switch screens, we might be in a modified compact yet. Let's just see. Modified 10.5 still coming up. No, modified compact coming up right now. Steve Chaplin and Anthony Bacalian. Anthony Bacalian from Edensor Park, the beautiful little Ford Cortina. And again, without the wheels on it, like it's so innocent. 4-litre on board, guessing what's in there. Barrel power, you can guess. Beside him, Steve Chaplin, the 13B, beautiful, Angry 3.
So this is the first of our Dial Your Own brackets this weekend here at the Garrett Advancing Motion Jamboree.
Yep, no matter which way you want to bring it, this is how you bring it. So again, it'll all depend on dial-ins at the end of qualifying when we go into racing. 886 there for Anthony in the Cortina, and again, you wouldn't pick that thing if you tried. 942 for Steve Chaplin. Great little car, and again, remember, dial-ins, doesn't matter how quick you run, it's great dial-in.
Yeah, so all the brackets that we've seen so far has just been about get to the finish line first, you're the winner, but when these guys get to racing later on the weekend, they will be nominating what we call a dial-in. As Herbert gets to the finish line first, and doesn't go quicker than the nominated time, will get the win here in modified compact. But in qualifying, they get 3 qualifiers. You want a car that's consistent, you want a car that's predictable, and you want a car that runs the same number 3 laps in a row. So when you go into round 1 of racing, picking that dial in is a little bit easier for the likes of Dwayne Wispy here and Michael Pepe on the track.
All right, you couldn't get two guys more further apart. Michael Pepe from Two Wells in South Australia. Dwayne Wisby from Whites Mountain in Queensland, so that's out past Sanford. So,
do we have any international visitors this weekend?
We would have visitors, but not racing, I don't think. But I've seen
we've got
already.
Harvey here, Rod Harvey.
Yeah, we've got our New Zealanders, but I'm sure we're going to have. Hopefully, we might even have our friends from Japan. You know, our friends come, they bring us gifts.
They do bring gifts.
I hope they're doing that. So this is the Grimace, beautiful KE20. Issues there for Buzz. He's driving away. Listen to that little 13B 898 in modified compact. Great class brought to us, live stream presented by Crank Motorsport. The dial your own class, 898 for him. Dwayne would have been definitely in that zone. 13B turbo on board for the 626. Now look, hopefully he gets that fixed and comes back. Now if anyone's interested, he hasn't put the for sale sign on it yet. But Dwayne is thinking of selling the 626. So if you want something already done, built to the top standard by Spot On, by the way, go down and ask whether Dwayne's interested to sell it, because I know he's thinking about going to a V8. So he's looking,
the other thing
he's going to the dark side.
The other thing with the modified compact class is they're all quick cars, all quicker than 9.99 seconds.
Yeah. Street compact to lanes 5 and 6, please. Street compact to lane 5 and 6. All motor to lane 3, please. All motor to lane 3. Cody Alexander now from Emerald in this little 323. Damon Gardet from Mount Pleasant in the little Mazda 1000 as well. Mazda 1000. There we go, boys. That'll do.
He almost jumped through.
Oh, yes, please. I love them any which way they bring them. 10.11 at 136 mile an hour, 9.82 at 135. Nice little wheelie out of there. We've got a little quick replay if we can. That was a nice little wheelie. Didn't expect that one out.
Yeah, Alexander was sharp as well. Good reaction time. He's a little bit off that 9.99 seconds bottom line there, but
beautiful launch. Nice little carry there from the Mazda. That's a whole lot of fun. There's something about little Mazda 1000s and 1300s with rotaries in them that just go, man, that is such a neat little car.
When you get Gordito ready to race, mate, this will be you on track. We'll be calling you.
Well, I mean, what class is this? Modified compact? Yeah, I want, mate, all motors where I want to be, mate. So yeah. I want to be all motor. That's where I think I'd want to be. So too many quick cars in these classes. I'd rather be.
We might even hook you up with a microphone, mate, when you're racing, so you can chat back to us.
Why not, mate? Why not? I'd love to do that next year. That'd be the goal. By this time next year, mate, I'll have at least one engine combo in it. I can tell you that. Might have an auto in it by next year. I want to keep the manual though to start with. All right, bit of turbo 4-cylinder. Terry's getting a photo there, mate. Whatever Mark just did there with the two.
Yeah, just the...
All right, the Celica, eh? Check this out. Now, entrant 3842. We don't have it on the screen here. Adam Bruman beside him from Horsley, New South Wales. It is the Celica. It says 2700, so it could have a 3RZ in it. Entrant 3842 is the RX3. So we're just going to put him straight in. His opponent's about to come in. All right, you better slow down. There we go. So you can assume, fab work by Mr. 2600, that Adam has a 3RZ on board the Celica. What's that, the old TA22 or RA28 shape? Got to find some beams here somewhere. One more beam. The other guy's loading it up. There we go. Righto, boy. Little micro dramas every run. Yeah, just not ready for it this time, Adam. The Celica, whether it's a New Car Blues or...
Yeah, had issues. Obviously, he couldn't get into the burnout procedure either for the Celica. Or a competitor in the other lane. He went through for an 11.38, 125 mile an hour.
He didn't have probably the best best first quali for him, did he? He was in there thinking he might have been on a solo. The Celica was having some issues, couldn't do a burnout, decided to roll through on stage. He's already in, trying to boost it up.
I was trying to work out what his number plate said earlier. I think it said Yogi 8U.
Yeah, Yogi 8U. That's not bad. That's got a nice sort of JDM style plate on it. But it's good that we're still celebrating Celicas from the 70s. You know, that was another car you can almost toss away. Late 70s, early 80s, they are. The traditional Japanese cars like that, mechanically they'd last forever. Yogi hates you. Look at that. It's pretty good. They'd either rust away or, you know, they just faded in when cars were coming out of everywhere aplenty. Is that the old Celica got sort of tossed to the side. They used to call it a hairdresser's car, and it was a sporty shape and not a lot of performance. But then, you know, when we raced them at Bathurst, John Williamson was a guy that always raced a Toyota Celica at Bathurst. 18RG, Yamaha head.
What car is coming out today that in 20, 30 years will be a collector that you
Oh, well, let's have a look, Mark. That's a very good question. Let's see what the rest of the field is. RX3s, of course, RX7s, of course.
Yep.
Remember, RX7s came out in the late 70s. Like, I think as early as 78, there was an RX7. I'm pretty sure that's right. I know a lot of our rotor heads, you can clip me a year either side. I don't mind. Is that right? Yeah. And remember, like, Australia has such an interesting story with its relationships with cars like Mazdas and Datsuns that the rest of the world never got in a mainstream like we did, especially Australian Touring Car Championship. We got everything in the one race. In America, you had 5 different racing organisations. You might have a Datsun in SCCA, but it would never be a NASCAR.
Yeah, Clyde just went through the stage beams there. Oh, he's backed up, so that's all right. It's qualifying.
Come on, Paul. You're all right now.
Yeah.
Got Ertan Oza from Coburg, Victoria. His sponsor is the Anatolian Grill, the RX3. Zing the tyres, but banging through the gears in the other lane is Paul now, the RX7. Hey, that's not bad. Stick shift street car, 1047, 142 mile an hour. Ain't messing about in modified compact. But yeah, of course, the Australian Touring Car Championship, we grew up watching mainstream motor racing, and there were V8s in there, Brock and Johnson, but then, you know, we had all the class cars. So we had little Datsuns, we had R100s, we had Dado 1200s. And then, of course, you know, I think, was it Moffat the first, Alan Moffat, who was a Ford god, decided, well, now Ford wasn't backing him as much as in the old days, so he went and found what would be a touring car that fit, and he brought the RX-7s over. Remember, those RX-7s from America were left-hand drive. He got Bridgeport homologated. He went 12A to 13B. He did a lot of homologation, a lot of factory Mazda, and he would have Mazda Japan engine builders and all of that. He had that much support from Mazda and Alan Halsall in the early days that Mazda, all of a sudden, we were thrust with rotaries in the early 80s. Guess what came in the early 80s into touring cars too? Nissan Bluebirds. We had turbo Nissans in there against V8s. So nowhere else in the world got import versus domestic on the same racetrack at the same time, much like we've had in Australia. And this is the wash-up on the drag strips of Australia. We've got this awareness of all of these cars that we'll never give up.
It was the Bluebird I was thinking of.
There we go. So, look, all of our historians are in there. And this is the new AI I use. It's called AI. This is called Chris Osley AI. 1978, Bathurst in 1979 was the first outing for the RX-7. See, we've got human AIs out there that really work. Isn't it funny? The two first bits of human AI that I asked for today got given to me by 2 different guys. Guess what? Same birthday. What a coincidence. All right, no coincidence. David McLeish out there in the Lexus. I don't know, in 30 years' time, will it be a collector? Chris O'Neill, the Corolla, in 30 years' time, yes, extra cool. So I think it is a 3RZ in there for McLeish. Well, it actually says here it could be a 2J. So it could be a 2J. 860 at 164 for Dave McLeish. It kind of got out of there. We're all distracted by Chris O'Neill's little Corolla. So here's the question, Mark. 30 years' time, is it still cool? One on screen, Valiant, 1966 VC.
Always, mate.
Absolutely.
Always.
Barra powered, even more so. So he is back. Nathan Peters. And he reckons it was already neat as a pin. This car was sort of a build for his late father. Great project with the Peters family. But Nathan's given it a little bit of a spell for a year. It's come back neater than it could have been. It was already neat as a pin. Now it's just immaculate. Again, a street car that you can drive with your family. Matthew Greig beside him from Andrews Farm in South Australia. Another South Aussie. It's an RB, I think, in the Calais wagon. Go the long roofs. We should put all the long roofs together. Silky, Danny Lansdowne, Matthew Greig. We've got a lot of long roofs here, Mark. Street compact, the lanes 5 and 6. All motor to lane 3, please. Bump it in the barra. So he's been in the 9s before, Nathan Peters, with this car. It goes 9.43, business as usual. 9.97 for the wagon. Only 128 mile an hour, so just rolling off the ends there from our friend in South Australia.
It was just good, clean passes both sides of the racetrack.
Mate, how good's modified compact? Like, we've got, over a dozen in there. That's going to be a great class, and we'll ask that question throughout the weekend. 30 years' time, is it still a classic? I can't see any car that we see at Jambo falling out of fashion.
I was more talking about the cars that are being built today, so 2025.
No, nothing. No, I don't think there's anything built today, and I'll go as far as saying the last 10 years. That's even stunned me to say, no, that'll be a classic. I just don't think...
But do you think anyone in the 90s or 80s was saying, the VH Commodore is going to be a classic?
No. Everyone just kept kicking them out. All right, here we go. Naomi Vandertok. This is Australia for you. 2JZ and an S13. Daniel Rougier, the Rotor Geek, 13B on board. All right, I'm going to say an 898 at 155 for Rougier. I'm trying to pick it. 898, 155. Let's have a look. Oh, 892, 148.
Well, that's a breakout then if you'd picked
I know. I mean, he started with a 903, then he gets into the 8s, and normally then he might go an 880. But, and then Naomi, straight to the top there. Remember, that's 2JZ with an 8 speed. Again, talk about latest trends. 840 at 168. Street car, drag and drive. 5 weeks ago, drag and drives that car. Michael Osborne now from Ormo. This is the Tuner Racing Hilux, and I think it's 3RZ on board. Jake Matheson from Silverdale, New South Wales, 13B RX4. Bit of meat under the back of the RX4, just quietly. How fat does that look? Yeah, this Tuner Racing team, I tell you what, they know how to race him. And Matty Francis, Michael Osborne.
I just got to move it because I'm getting blocked by the windows here, and so I couldn't actually see the...
There is a little blind spot here, isn't it? Oh, it was coming up making power, and we're going to see a whole lot more of it, but then it did have a little pop there and a little bit of smoke.
That was a good pass from Osborne. Good reaction time. 080 on the tree, 943, 144 miles an hour. Matheson, he got out strong 128 to 60 foot, but then it blew the tyres pretty much at the 60 foot mark there in that RX4.
It just sneaks under the radar, Michael Osborne. You don't even flinch when you see the Hilux, go down like that. We're all watching the RX4 trying to rocket away, but he just gets about his business. 943. Look at that. Steve Chaplin, 942. Michael Osborne, 943. Nathan Peters, 943. That's a field that is a hard one to win. Modified compact. As I said, most of our dial your own categories. I shouldn't say almost impossible to win, but you know what you need. You need to be able to cut good lights. The car can't let you down, and you better learn how to stage properly and cut a good light. Practice makes perfect by... where's our schedule? Are we actually tickling a bit of... are we tickling some elimination tomorrow night?
Tomorrow we actually have first round of racing for some of our sportsman classes here at the Jamboree.
Yeah, right. So we're chopping a couple of numbers down tomorrow night. I think we had it on the schedule there.
So round 1 we'll see first round of Radial Extreme J275, Street 289, Modified 10.5, Modified Compact, Extreme, All Motor, Street Compact and Euro. All have their first round of racing tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. So that's just part of the 2026... I shouldn't call it a reform. It's like we're learning every year, and honestly, we got to the stage and we look at each other the last couple of years going, Brisbane Jambo, 2 days. And back in the day, how can we even make it a 2-day event? And then it's proven that we can. And now we're at 2 days and we're thinking, man, that's a lot to fit in 2 days. So this has been the idea to let's get it underway Friday Arvo, get a quali in, loosens up tomorrow a bit, let's get then an elimination round in, loosens it up for Sunday, and we're all trying to have this nice... you're going to see some great stuff Sunday. It's like anything, it's like watching a marathon, a 3-day marathon. Who was going to win those Billet Jays? They're a hard thing to win. And the thing is, if you are in one of these die your own classes, so in a perfect scenario, perfect world, after 3 qualifiers, your car has gone down the track 3 times. The 3 passes are, say, within 0.05 of a second going into round 1 of racing. Your reaction times have been good. That would be the perfect scenario. 3 good laps, no issues.
No one in trouble.
No one in trouble. As we see Daniel Lake here moving forward to take on Ben Clark.
All
but
right.
it looks like Clark was out of the car over there in the other lane in his VL.
That's a
the
shame
red
for
VL.
That's a shame for Benny because he's done so many Jambos. That thing's such a reliable RB30 street car, but not right now. Not Q1. Daniel Lake from Eaton's Hill up near me, of course. It says here the 3 litre, another VL. We have got the VL count is up there. We could have 50 VLs here. Who knows? And there's more to come because there's more people out there acquiring them and purchasing them, and that's the 30-year classic. That's already a classic. You know what I mean? 901 at 153. You wait 30 years time, the VL. I'm not going to say the VL is going to be Lambo prices, but it's going to be a revered car that will take us back to the influential days, probably the most influential couple of decades of Australian motoring, from the 80s onwards, especially when the high tech stuff came in. Hey? Oh, that one does. Good old-fashioned single cam. And may the single cams live forever as well. So that one that went down was single cam. Got all the info here from Roving Mike, I tell you. He's got it all. Yeah, definitely during the 80s when sort of the high-tech movement came in, touring cars, we got International Group A, so then sort of the turbo started to sort of nip at the heels of our domestic performance market, and the offerings from turbocharged, for turbocharged vehicles in the 80s went up. You know, we had the VL Turbo, we had Nissan Pulsar Turbo, Nissan Exa Turbo.
Sorry, mate, I was just looking over his shoulder because I've seen Harry Thwaite go through the burnout and he's getting pushed back, and might be just having another go. Maybe they weren't happy with the first burnout.
No, it's playing silly buggers at the moment.
It is playing silly buggers.
The boys from Bundy, they were up at Mackay last weekend. Harry Thwaite from Goobarram.
Just send it.
Rum City Realty, and Byron Boltzer from Bargo, New South Wales, the VL beside him, Extreme Fabworks. So a 6-cylinder double bump in here. Yeah, from Goobarram, that's part of the Barrabundi tribe.
Yeah, Harry's done a lot of racing lately in the Cortina.
There were 2 runs up at Mackay last weekend where it came out of the hole in full power, then the thing just shut off. So hopefully they've solved that out. The scream of the 6 bangers here on a Friday afternoon. 9:02 for the Cortina, 10:42 for the VL. So, yes, modified compact. You know, you're going to have to cut a good light on tomorrow from racing. And right now, if you want to get some qualifying in today and tomorrow, if you want to not practice cutting a light, sit there and get the number.
Well, yeah.
So at some stage during qualifying, you're going to have to pretend to cut the tree if you want to win a Jambo. That's all I'm saying. If you just want the thing to run some good numbers this weekend, well, this is the event for you. If you want to win one, well, that's going to take the driver effort and input.
And the thing with modified compact is it is an elimination class. So if you lose, you're on the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's one, because remember, you know, we've got some categories at a Chicago shootout, 3-round, of course, Factory Extreme and Pro Compact and all that. But these ones that, you know, you get chopped. I mean, it does mean that if you're good, you get 3-4 runs. If you're bad, you get 1 in racing, and that's it. So another call, Street Compact to lanes 5 and 6, Street Compact to lanes 5 and 6, all motor to lane 3, all motor to lane 3, please, all motor to lane 3, Street Compact to lanes 5 and 6. That's how many must be there if we're getting 5 and 6.
Tell you what, this forward of Rowan Ward's down there, that looks tidy from up here in the commentary box.
Folks, that's, what are we, an XY Falcon, so what are we, 1970? I can't quite see the front if it's XW, XY. Taillights, I think, would tell me that it is a Y. The plates sometimes don't tell us. XY it is, I'd say. Can't quite see the rest of it. It could be just no personalised plates. Fancy a car without personalised plates, heaven forbid. Someone give him a gift voucher from PPQ, get him some plates. Is there any combos even left at PPQ? I still sometimes get on there and see what I can get. Now, of course, Parlo Boney beside him, the XD Denial. That's his plates. But how good's the Barra in the XY? I mean, that's nuts. Parlo first run, keeping the bonnet on, 869 at 164 mile an hour for the XD. Can't guarantee the door handles are okay. 1089 at 119 mile an hour. Again, that's an in-joke. Anyone watching from overseas, if you want to knows some nice little tricks.
I was wondering, I'm like, okay, that's a weird thing to say for him to go across the finish
If it's
line.
an XD Falcon, you'll know. If anyone knows about XDs from, 1978 onwards, XDs, XEs, XFs, the door handles would break. They just weren't strong enough, and you'd be back at Ford buying another door handle. So that is one thing that the poor old XD cops a lot of, is the door handle joke. So I thought I'd throw the XD joke in there early. Again, we've got to keep sharing this, even if it's a larrikin culture and a sharing of useless information. People in the world need to know that, because honestly, one day, if you ever were to ask anyone overseas their Aussie car banter, how well they know it, that's a culture that we can share, that people should know about. Imagine turning up at an event in America and going, "Oh, those Falcons, huh? Lose those handles, huh?" And yeah, that's right, man. Someone listened. Why keep all of our great yarns to ourselves and tell the rest of the world on live streams about how we've arrived at this point and where we go from there? So here's a question: XD Falcon in 30 years' time, is it cool? Way cool. I mean, remember, the custodians of these vehicles now have no intention of giving them up, and if anything, if they have to sell them, they'll sell them. They'll get good money for them. With a V8. Well, V8s will be more than that, but of course we're in the turbo era, so... And basically, yeah, louvers and anything barra swapped. Euro, there we go, lane 7. Euro to the lanes, please, Euro. All the Euro cars for the Euro category. Lane 7. Street compacts to lane 5 and 6, please. Street compact. Street compact to lanes 5 and 6, please. Euro now to lane 7. Euro to lane 7. All motor should be in lane 3. All right, more modified compact. Simon Nicholson and Maroon Kawash. So Maroon from Glenmore Park, the FG Ute. And this Cressida, it says 3.7 litres in the Cressida from Maryborough. What, pray tell, is a 3.7 in a Cressida? Could it be a D-stroked Barra? I'm guessing. 3.7. Is it a Mercruiser 470? Probably not.
Typo, maybe.
Or is it a typo? It's the 2.7. Could be a 3. Let's have a listen. Could be very well that. Let's scream it through there. How's that for the Cressida? 844, 167 mile an hour, and 887 for Maroon in that FG utility. Yeah, we got utilities. We race them here in Australia. All right, so that's modified compact. Now time for Extreme. Now Extreme's got a little mix of a couple of cars in Extreme. Traditionally, it was going to be an open wheel style class, but we got some other V8 sedans in there, of course. Extreme's kind of the too hard basket, you know what I mean?
So but it's a class designed for dragsters and ultras running 4 cylinders, 5 cylinders, 6 cylinder EFI V8 turbos. Sedans are permitted in the class, but they're limited to running EFI V8 turbocharged engines and must run quicker than 9.99 seconds. Yeah,
that's right. So that's where the EFI V8 sedans come into Extreme, and really nowhere else except the radial classes, of course. So Hot Rod Williams from Dalby. Now last weekend he was in his twin turbo Windsor powered XM Falcon running radials up at Mackay. So what do? You go home, get ready for Jambo, you bring out your blown and injected Barra powered altered. So Hot Rod Williams here. He does all right in Extreme, Hot Rod. He does all right in Extreme, just quietly.
He's got a few cars in the shed.
And they share a very familiar thing. They've got the blue oval on them. And he's even got a dragster that his daughter drives, which is a turbo cross-flow dragster. So remember, he's got a hot rod that had a turbocharged and supercharged cross-flow. So he's had different combos in the past. And his hot rod is now blown and injected and runs mid-sixes in the 8th. But that hot rod doesn't get a lot of...
So I think this is Sheriff? No?
Tom Pranobis.
Tom Pranobis,
well
there
done.
we go.
Well done, Tom.
So we didn't have a name, and I was looking at the entry list, we had a Holden VF down there.
There we go, James Horan's reporting that the Maryborough Cressida is a 3.7 barrel with a James Horan full race converter. Tell you what, I love the sound of supercharged Barra. 818 at 158 mile an hour. Love him. Love the sound of a hot, crispy Barra on the way through. So there you go, James Horan, 3.7 litre Barra in that Cressida from Maryborough. Street Compacts to lane 5 and 6. Street Compact to lanes 5 and 6.
I know this Mustang. That's Max Carpenter down there in the Mustang. And he'll be taking on Luke Doherty in the Camaro. So these guys usually campaign here at Willowbank Raceway at what we call our Queensland Drag Racing Championships in a class called Top Sportsman. But this weekend, turboed V8s, they're running in extreme class here for the Garrett Brisbane Jamboree Q1.
Yeah, so Dowdy and Carpenter, eh? I don't mind the Camaro Mustang battle in this class here. Supercharged LS. I think Max has got a Godzilla in that Mustang. 840 to an 850. I think that is a Godzilla in that Mustang. So LS against Godzilla, 840 against 850 in extreme. Was it Lucas Holtz and Hoff? Lucas Holtz and so the final extreme last year was Lucas Holtz in his EFI LS Altered and Clayton Ethel in the 1JZ Altered, my old car. So remember that was the final of extreme last year.
Need to get your Altered back out here, mate. This is a perfect event for it.
Well, I had a cracking run up there at JZ Fest in it, running up there, 167 mile an hour up there in it. That was fun. Caleb O'Brien.
All motor.
All motor. So here's Caleb O'Brien in the FG. And he's up against Paul Matheson. So, like, technically, yes, the FG Falcon can be an all motor because we're the only country. Well, actually, Puerto Rico's picked up on 6 cylinders in all motor, but for years, all motor was 4 cylinders and 2 rotor. We rode in 4, 5, and 6 cylinder, 2 rotor, 3 rotor. So that FG's more than welcome to be in their NA.
Yeah, big shout out to Mainline Smart Dyno Technology bringing us qualifying here for all motor class.
Gets a bit louder in this class. Look at Matho revving that thing out there. There we go, 1076 at 123. Remember, it's a dial your own category. 1426 NA FG Falcon. That's not bad. Like back in the day, GTHOs weren't that quick. You know what I mean?
100 mile an hour as well for him, Caleb O'Brien.
GTHOs weren't as quick as a 6-cylinder FG. I love mainline all motor. It just, the volume goes up. It's NA, it's loud rotaries. Will Slygar now from Orange. Now, is that Eric's brother? Son? Eric's son, the chip off the old block. Sam Constantinou, this fantastic little Datsun wagon from Maroubra. 13B on board both sides here. There we go. How old is young Will Slygar, I wonder? 17. We'll have to check that. 12:39. That's young. 11:96 NA 13B Datsun. And we've got a few more cranky rotaries in this class. Oh, look at this one. Matthew Guffog from Lauriestown in New South Wales. The little Datsun again, the Datsun 1000. 13B, gorgeous little car. Sean Medjlak from Thermster in New South Wales, the 13B in the Corolla.
That'll be you one day, mate, here in all motor.
Well, I mean, look, I could run quicker than 1360, I hope. 1360 at 100 mile an hour, 1675. Yeah, I'll be in there. I'll be in there with a mix, mate. Big 4-cylinder in there, having a crack at these rotaries.
It's not about how quick you are, though, mate.
Well,
that's what your own class.
And that's what I love about all motor is that it is like NA is the new turbo. It's almost like it's a technology that everyone's forgotten about.
And it's going to be fun watching round one of racing, especially when you could have like 6 or 7 second head starts here for these guys. Like Matheson's run 10 seconds, but Matthew Guffick there went 16:75.
Well, I do love all the manual cars in there as well, and
that's also cool.
Oh, he showed us the Escort here earlier, yeah. We've got to check what the engine is on that thing, whether it's a Codsworth or an SR. We'll have to check. Can't remember. We can't remember what it is. What's that? There you go. Young Will Slygar just turned 17. Here he is at Jambo.
Shouldn't he be at school today then?
No, Mark, you can't ask. You can't ask those questions, mate. I mean, I asked that about all the radial kids that are here on a Friday. Why aren't you at school? So are we getting a track education? A track education is much better than a school education. However, I do want to let every kid know, stay in school. Actually, stay double at school. Read every book in the library. Become an engineer, mechanical engineer or something. If you love your automobiles, you better learn up about them quick before they're extinct. Zachary, and it won't be extinct, but kids like you want to still do it. Zachary Rieberger from Morayfield, the Datsun Mazda 1000 Ute, and Jay Shull from G-Bung. Where's he been hiding the Mexico Escort? It says a 3, but I don't know what 3 something on this thing. We'll have to, if anyone knows about the Escort, let us know. It says we're still in all motor.
We're going to sports, street compact.
Street comp. I thought it might have been street compact. 10.500 there. That's Zachary Rieberger. Yeah, we're in street compact. I thought, no, that's moving too quick for an NA car.
Yeah, brought to us by Speedflow.
Euro to staging lane 7, please. Euro to staging lane 7. Euro to staging lane 7. All right, here she is. Hayley Scott from Richmond up in North Queensland. Scott Speed. It's the 4 litre. It's the Barrett in the R34. Beside him, Grant Dixon. Grant Dixon, the little rotary exhibit, it says here. He's from Nudgee Beach. Do you know he's from Nudgee Beach, Grant Dixon? Little Mazda 323. You can only assume rotary power. Dave Reed's out there loving it because Dave's got 2 of these things, hasn't he? He's got the green one and then the Ansett one, hasn't he? He's got his own little collection of Mazda 323s with rotaries in it. One of the first rotaries I ever drove was a 323 with a 13B in it.
Well, this is our biggest class of the weekend, street compact.
Oh, it will be.
Whoever's holding that J Trophy at the end of the weekend has done a job to get through this massive field.
I'll put a little hot tip in there. The R34 will be near the pointy end. I reckon that'll be the hot tip. Such great street cars. Street compact. This is where it still gets the old spine a tingling when we see what's out there along the street cars. $9.90 for Grant Dixon. Wouldn't even pick that 323. $9.90 at 131. 10.17 for Hayley Scott.
Well, that's actually too quick for street compact, so it's 10
Oh,
seconds.
Mark, come on.
No, I'm just saying that's a.
I know.
In racing, he's going to have to go on slower than 10 seconds.
Shouldn't the kids be in school? Isn't that a bit too quick? Come on, Mark. Just chill, man. Chill, man. It's Friday, man. It's let's just all chill out, man. Let's just, well, everything will be good, man.
Well, we're just, explaining the rules to our viewers on the live stream brought to us by Crank Motorsport, street compact class. It's a die your own bracket, 10 seconds and slower when we get to eliminations tomorrow. 6 rounds of racing in street compact this weekend.
Don't worry about a thing, cause every little thing's going to be all right. Just remember that, Mark. Just chill, mate. Kids can be out of school now. Sorry, Bob Marley. That's all the suits. Bob Marley wrote that before Jamboree was invented, but it fits so well.
I'm chill, mate. It's, we don't have to hear you sing again this weekend. We're all on a win.
Oh, well, okay. Can't guarantee that's not going to happen. Brett Thompson now. Stephen Beach. So Stephen Beach from Shayla Park and Brett Thompson from Jimboomba hiding these things in the shed. 10.04 at 116 with so much more on the plate.
He rolled off that early.
20B it says in there. Stick shift. 13.47 for Stephen Beach. Yeah, you're right, Mark. It is a hard 10.00 index on these cars. Some of these cars might run quicker, but hopefully, normally they can be teched and will be teched. So if they are running on the parameters, they've got to be covered for tech, and they normally are. Stephen Johnson's one of those guys that's done it for years.
Didn't you just give me a lecture on talking about the ET cutoff?
I know, but I'm just reminding everyone that what Mark said is true. I'm not shooting it all down. I was actually sort of, what's the word? Confirming, Mark. Confirming the rules,
right.
Yes. But then saying that, yes, teching, some are tech, some aren't. So that's that. It's all the old-fashioned 11.00 back in the day. Don't run a 10, you need a cage. Now, lucky enough, 10.50. And then 10.00 with airbags. Steve Johnson, the 2 litre on board from Valentine, New South Wales. And Rusty Wilshire gets to drive the Wilshire family 35. Rusty's had to probably do the washing up all week to get this opportunity to do it. 11.05 at 128. And you know how much he hates chores. 11.05, 128 mile an hour. Steve Johnson, issues for the normally reliable Celica. He's normally another one like him and Haley, that sort of the pointy end.
Yep.
There'll be names like Steve Johnson, maybe Rusty near the end of the weekend in Street Compact. He knows how to cut a light, Rusty, from all his
It was
junior,
a good solid light then, at 146 for him.
from his junior dragster days as well. So this class is going to bring out a variety of different machinery. I mean, this is as close to the street cars as we get, folks. Street Compact brought to us by Speedflow. Scott Thompson now from Evat. I don't know, I'm just reading it 10 times. Evat. Oh, double T, lingering on the T. From the ACT. Benny B, that's his name. Benny B in the S15 from Ormo Hills. Might be an RB25 on board the S15. 2.5 litre. Could be a 1JZ. It's Australia. Who knows? Street Compact. Big class. Run what you brung. It's another little 3v3. Oh, plenty of wheel spin on the cheese cutters. Scott Thompson on the cheese cutters there. And Benny B disappears into the finish line. 11.70 at 120 mile an hour. But yeah, crazy little thing. Maz, it says 2,600 on board, so I think we are rotary powered. Some people can name them as that. Michael Crouch now from Jimboomba. Yep, the Hyundai. I knew it was coming. We knew we were going to get some performance Korean cars in there, and they're nothing to be sneezed at. Joshua Moore beside from Townsville, the BF. From Townsville. Oh, you're from Jimboomba. Okay, you're from Jimboomba. All right, Michael Crouch. He could be in the pointy end of Street Compact too.
Sounds like one of them might have been spinning the tyres a little bit.
I think it's the Falcon, but he's off and gone now. Let's have a look at the ETs and see if you can repeat those over quality tomorrow. 12.39 for Josh Moore, 13.33 for Michael Crouch in the Hyundai. Nothing to be sneezed at, by the way. Next time you see one of them on the street rolos, well, you know, you can tweak them up and go into the 13s. All right, on screen, my nephew. He gets to drive the Diggles family Gazelle. Jamie Diggles. Now, guess what? Both Matthew Diggles and Jamie Diggles, of course, my brother Ben's sons, they're both doing mechanical engineering at uni, and they both had opportunities to test this car. Guess how we chose which kid to drive it? Less missed shifts and better reaction times. That was the prerequisite for Jambo. They both thought Dad was driving it, but then they didn't realise one of them was going to drive it.
It's a manually shifted.
Yeah, stick shift Honda K-Series. Stick shift Honda K-Series, and a not bad job for Jamie first hit. Oh, 10.20. Oh, Benny gave him some. 10.20 for Jamie Diggles. 0.82 off the tree, because Ben would have been marking him for that as well. 0.82 off the tree. 146 in the 60-foot. Jamie Diggles. 10.20 in the Gazza.
Anthony Dunn in the lane beside him. He went 11.47, 131 miles an hour. He goes to number 7 qualifier. But yeah,
stick shift's harder to race with as well. But no, that's IRS and everything in that. But still the quickest S12 Silvia in the world with the IRS in it. Oh, wheelie, thank you very much, Jason Gerstgracer. Oh, yeah, Street Compact will dish you up some exciting wheelies as well. Look at this at the stripe. 10.30 to a 12.24. Just some of them are just sleepers, Mark. They're just getting about their business, and we don't notice. And then you've got Daddos doing wheelies.
Yeah, it was a nice pass there from Christy Lee Shelton in that 12.24.
Christy Lee. We've got to do our girl list. Have we got our girl? Renee, get us the girl list. All the girls that have entered. Go. Thank you. Another stick shift. I reckon you should get an extra $500 if you win something with a stick shift, because I think it just takes more skill to do it.
It really does.
And 11.85 going through the gears, I don't mind that at all. And 13.54 for Elijah Bendevsky from Adamstown in New South Wales. Oh, here we go. The traditional Holden Gemini platform. These are just as cool in 30 years too, by the way, Mark, Holden Geminis. Tim Heiblum beside him, the Datsun Bluebird. Well, a car after my own heart. Beige. This is V6, 3.5 litre. I think it's a VK 35 on board this thing. So another sleeper, you wouldn't sneeze twice at it. Manual in the Gemini too for Josh Brett. From Port Kennedy, WA, Mark Allen. The Gemini from Port Kennedy, WA.
I don't even know where Port Kennedy is.
It's in WA, mate. It's in WA. We're going to have to, come on, where's our, normally, Mark, you'd be throwing the phone up there. Where's Port Kennedy? Come, roving Mike, give us Port Kennedy. We've got our research assistant here. He'll do most of the things we ask him to, and he's pretty switched on. So where is Port Kennedy in WA?
About to tell you, mate. It's a coastal suburb in Western Australia, located 50 kilometres south of Perth, within the city of Rockingham.
Oh, yeah, within the city of Rockingham. So it must be close to the drag strip out there near Point Kennedy.
Well, I'll tell you, someone who's very close to here, Willowbank, is Zach Anderson from Flinders View. He goes through for an 11.26, 134 miles an hour. He's 5 minutes down the road. And Robert Cork in the Falcon beside him, he went through for an 11.05.
That is a good question, girls. They're looking for a link to the page. Everyone can go see the qualifying list. Well, the qualifying list, we would normally pop them up at the bottom of the tower. I don't know whether online we can have a portal to see that. Nick right now from Goonellabah in New South Wales. Brad Bond from Parkinson. The KE70 Corolla, the RX3 beside. The RX3 says it's got a 3.9 in it, but it can't be true. 11.27 at 128 mile an hour. 12.51 at 120. Where do these cars come from? They're coming out of everywhere.
As I said, mate, it is a huge field. How many we already down the track here in Q1? Here in Street Compact, we are
24. And look at the names. Joseph Free now with the Cressida from Elmore Vale in New South Wales. And Lemick O'Sullivan from Tiglagar in New South Wales. Tiglagar. Yeah, Tiglabar. Capalabar. No. It's Tiglabar. Anyway.
You get there.
Well, we love to know. All the big shout out to people watching from Tiglagar in New South Wales, cheering on Lemick O'Sullivan. The RX2 sitting in the water though. The Cressida is ready from Elmore Vale. Joseph Freer.
He'd be having fun trying to stage right now with the sun as it's setting here at Willowbank Raceway.
Welcome to the Queensland sunshine. It is a little bit too extreme in the Arvos, and we normally would have a sun break.
I think with qualifying, you might be okay because it doesn't actually affect you going down the track. It just affects you trying to get into stage.
Yeah, the rest of it's fine. You've got normally pretty good vision, but yeah, once your eye line is near that tree, the sun's right near it, it's hard. 10.28. God, we've got some good sleeper Cressidas out there. 10.28.
Have a look at the top half of the field here, mate. We've got a bunch of cars in that low 10-second zone already in Street Compact. It's a die-your-own class.
It's a big field. Daniel Watson now from Chermside West, his Falcon, up against Bradley Halliburton from Warners Bay in New South Wales. We might have a record for the most amount of interstate entries. We've got tons from Northern Territory to WA to South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, a Tassie. All we need is a Tassie in there. We'll find them somewhere. Daniel Watson. And the ACT, that's right. Another, beware of the deadly Crusaders that lurk amongst us, Bradley Halliburton.
Well, he's a veteran of the Jamboree. You see Halliburton here every year. Good light as well. 0740 goes through for a 10.87, 126 mile an hour. Daniel Watson in the lane beside him. He will roll on through for a 16.54, 105 miles an hour. So he had some issues there, but good speed from 105 mile an hour. So recovered a little bit from what it was at half track. So he should be into that 12-second zone later on if he can get it all cleaned up.
Ah, right. Look at this. Another Celica. I think RA60 shape there, affectionately called the Mustang back Celica.
Just gone through the staging move, so back up here for Craig English.
And Jovsky Tazevsky. Either it's Jovsky Tavesky or Joyce. I'm thinking Jovsky. The Calais from Dunmore in New South Wales, out and gone in this big Speedflow Street Compact class, and it's quick. 10.15 at 136 mile an hour. The top of the field, 10.15 at 136, 12.18 at 113 for Craig English. We should just call it Wicked Sleeper Eliminator. That's what we should call it. Just every year, the average ET in Street Compact keeps going down. And we're seeing more and more cars. Again, examples from the showroom that we may have forgotten. What about the old ST141 Corona? Nathan Steger from Withcott, 2.7. He's got a 3RZ in the Corona. And Gavin Dixon, the Sprinter. God, they're worth a fortune, the Sprinters now. 1,600, you assume, 4AG platform. But, yeah, Sprinters, they're a thing that'll be way, way cooler even in 30 years' time, the Sprinters.
Yeah.
Drift King's made that car pretty much famous, that model. Yeah, that 3RZ, that angry four-cylinder sound from the 3RZs in the Corona. Now, he's just sort of biding his time down the end here and goes a very lazy 13.10. It was 7.18 at half track and making good power, but then 13.10 rolling right off the end, and the same for our friend in the sprinter, 21.32. Not the run he was probably expecting, but this is where we do get these interesting street car combos of any shape and size. It doesn't matter. And really, when you start looking at what Coronas were, like if you couldn't afford a Celica, once rear-wheel drive Celicas got expensive, the same with Supras. Once Supras got expensive, you had the option of Cressidas. And, you know, as much as Celicas were dear, Coronas were cheap. And again, in the early days, Coronas and Celicas shared a lot of the same running gear. Wherever there was a Corona, the Celica had the same sort of running gear in it, up to a point. Chris Johnson now, Troy Dunn from Beachmont, the RX-7, and from Baronia Heights, the Corolla. Nice dangle of the front wheel there for the RX-7. Another stick shift car, so we've got a few in the class. Look at that, 10.14 at 142. Geez, him and the Gazelle would be a nice race, both over 140 mile an hour.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke in the braking area though as he went through. Hopefully that's nothing too serious.
It's a rotary thing. It's a rotary thing. We'll when we see a bit of smoke, if it's a rotary, we normally cut it a bit of slack. Brad Dalziel now from Collingwood Park, the Cressida, another one. Matthew Barron. Watch out for Matty Barron.
I was going to say, he's going to be one of the guys. You definitely don't want to be lined up against Matty Barron in round 1 of racing tomorrow.
No, Matty Barron on a dial-in is deadly.
Well, this thing will probably run around the 1660s, 1670s for Matty, but he goes 13 red. Had a chop at the tree there. Dalziel gets out with a 134 clean green in the Cressida, and he'll get across the finish line first here. The Cressida goes through 1084, 137 miles an hour, and Matty Barron in the Commodore, he goes through for a 1569 at 89 miles an hour. Yeah, so Matty Barron's, he's real consistent around that 1560 area in that Commodore. Next up, Trenton Lidgard to take on Graham Manietta.
Remember that today Roving Mike was filming this RX2. It's original. It's a real street battler, original paint, the odd dint on it, but it's street registered and still going strong. Graham Manietta from Springwood. Look at this, the little Suzuki Swift sedan in street compact.
Lidgard actually reversed out of stage as the tree was coming down there. Unfortunate for Trenton. So he won't get a time here in Q1, but Graham Manietta, he gets out with a 184 clean green in that Suzuki Swift.
And it's not stock.
Right.
It's not stock. 1477, got the G16 in it. 1477 at 91. And look, honestly, I think we could have put Trenton in all motor because it is a cranky IDA carby fed 13B in it. So that could have gone into the all motor class. Too late now. Now, it looks like we're going to do sunbreak and track prep at the same time. Just a little looking into our crystal ball. And it's called my mobile phone. Looking into my crystal ball. We need Factory Extreme to staging lanes 2 and 3. Factory Extreme. Factory Extreme. First call. Lanes 2 and 3. Factory Extreme. Lanes 2 and 3. Factory Extreme. Lanes 2 and 3. Euro should be in lane 7. Euro in lane 7, please. Euro in lane 7. Speedflow Street Compact continues. Travis Beckman now. Here's a little CA 18-power Datsun 1200. And what about Derek Johnson, the 3.2 litre Supra?
Bit of spin out of the Datsun there for Beckman. Derek Johnson on the Super, he goes across for a 10.24, only 96 mile an hour. He was 5.94 to half track. That thing, that's a low 9-second car there for Derek Johnson. And Beckman rolls through for a 12.30 at 113 miles an hour. $38 cars so far down the track here in Q1 for Street Compact. We've got more coming forward here. It's going to be Wade Benson, so he's a commentator here at Willowbank Raceway. And he's going to be taking on James Whitfield.
Hey, he's done that before, Wade, hasn't he? Sort of gets in there and has a bit of a race when he can.
He's even gone to Sydney to race.
Yeah, he's pretty serious about getting some racing in when he's not commentating.
So we've got to be Judgy McJudgy here on his reaction times then, definitely. He's got something written on the window as well.
What's it saying on the window
Not
there?
a turbo.
Not a turbo. Okay, well, okay, there we go. So this is his disclaimer to explain why it ain't fast. Anyway, it's on Dial Your Own. He's got just as much chance on a Dial Your Own as anyone. James Whitfield, the HQ, that's the one with the 2J in it. So 2J in a HQ, only in Australia.
Well, if it's not 20 or better on the Christmas tree reaction time side of things for Wade Benson, just pack it up.
There'll be a lot of Holden people out there wondering why would you make a HQ with a 2J. The reason is, well, it fits in. And he's on the brakes early too, because this has got plenty of potential. Tiptoes down to a 10.49. He's going to have to calm that thing down all weekend. James Whitfield at 115 mile an hour, 16.34 beside for Wade. Not a turbo.
At 86 mile an hour. So
well, I want to know why the FG could run 14 2s in all motor and Wade's only running 16s. He mustn't have the big kilowatt engine in there, eh? I thought Wade would have. That's that last shape too, which is a nice car. That'll actually be...
Auto.
It is an auto. That will be actually a classic in 30 years, because that last Falcon, we all like that one. And a lot of people agree that last FG shape is pretty much Ford's final hurrah for the Falcon. It was actually deserving that Ford finished production of the Falcon in Australia as the FG. It pretty much got the best of everything in those cars. So I think in 30 years, if you were to hold on to something like that, that is a time capsule. No worries about door handles on that thing, but you'll still have, rear mains and, power steering. You'll have all the other Ford leaks. I mean, my BA is already, known as the Everton Hills Exxon Valdez, and I have to park that car on opposite sides of the streets to keep the oil distribution level.
Well, we're into Euro class now, Diggles. We see Connor Webb gets out with an 0.42 reaction time in the Audi. Anthony Loveridge out with a 3.10, the V-dub.
Yeah, the Euro class, they just sneak up there and they run out their numbers, and that's another class, I tell you. Connor Webb might just be on it because of his lot of junior dragster and drag racing experience. Cutting lights, again, I don't know whether we're racing dial-ins or we've just got a class for them to shoot out in, I don't know. But the Euro class is just one of those categories that we do let, Audis in, V-dubs in. And this is more the traditional late model, traditional V-dubs to us was the Beetle, but these are our modern VWs in different shapes and form. Now, Paul Ashton, getting right into the theme of things here with the, Samantha Rudd. So the VW from Chittaway Bay, there we go, Chittaway Bay in New South Wales. Where is that? 13.06. And what about that? 11.87 for the Audi. So Chittaway Bay in New South Wales. Again, probably on the coast.
I wasn't sure what you were talking about. Then I had to look at the screen to see what you were...
Like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but it's Chittaway... Can we get that again? It was Chittaway Bay. That's sounds like it should be on its own soap opera.
Not too sure what's happening here because we've just had a reset here and they're just told to go back out of the beams.
All right, well, here we go. Look at Michael Gundry in the BMW, but in the BMW here is Alison Afcal. Is that Mrs. Sammy? It could be. Could be. She's a bit of a lead foot. She doesn't mind sort of putting the hammer down. They're no okay, there we go. Chittaway Bay, up from north of between Wyong and Bateman's Bay. There we go, between Wyong and Bateman's
Is that
Bay.
a 9.99?
Hello, Mrs. Afcal.
143 mile an hour.
9.92 at 143 mile an hour, and north of Sydney. Yeah, there we go. So Chittaway Bay between Wyong and Bateman's Bay. Another beautiful part. You can only just imagine that part of the coast, how good it looks. It's so great to have you here wherever you are from right around Australia. And we've been reading out and trying to read out basically where everyone's from. I do like when we have the ability of where they're from to tell people that, we have a lot of people travel here. As we said, local Queensland, it's because we've had this track for, over half a century now, which is scary. Look what you've created from the track. The drag strips brought this history of people in the local area having nice cars, people from other parts of the country drawn to Jamboree like moths to the flame.
Mate, the pits are looking huge down there.
It is.
I'm looking forward to getting down there later on, having a walk through and checking all the cars out.
Well, by all indication, we've got sunbreak coming up and some track prep, and we're calling already to the lanes. Factory Extreme to the lanes, please. So we'll be probably doing a little bit of live roam around the place because after the sunbreak and the track prep, we'll be back on as we start our qualies for all of our pro categories. So the Rivals night pairings not too far away, but we've got to do that track prep. and we're doing that right now. So we've done our Euro demos. We've done just about qualies for everyone except our pro classes, which we're going to do shortly. So right now, that track prep is going to happen, and we've got Roving Mike, and we're probably going to try the lanes. That's got some good range. Just go and see if it works over there anyway. So Mark and might be Mark and Terry back in here if I'm going to be distracted, but enjoy the qualifying coming up shortly once we do track prep and sun break. But take the opportunity to stretch the legs, wander around, grab that great merchandise while you can. Don't go too far because track prep, sun break will just be that one thing we need to wait for as well. So while that's happening, get out and about and enjoy day one of course, this fantastic event, the Garrett Advancing Motion Brisbane Jamboree.
Racing has always been about pushing limits, but the future isn't just horsepower. It's intelligence. Vision FT isn't just software. It's a platform. It's a new way to see, a new way to control. The future at your fingertips. Built for today's racers, everything that comes next. This is Vision FT. This is Fueltech.
When I'm out in them wild boys, blunts and fillets. When I'm out in LA, boys, raps and switches. Now blood walk to this, now grip walk to this. Now throw it up, raise it up for that gangsta shit. Now blood walk to this, now grip walk to this. Now throw it up, raise it up for that gangsta shit. I'm in my Lambo maggot, my fofo faggot. Doors lift up, I'm like go gadget. See the shit I got on, homie. I'd hate to my Teflon.
Long Boost Performance Parts, your one-stop shop for race-proven gear. All your major leading brands, such as Raceworks, Fueltech, TurboSmart, Garrett, Pulsar Turbo, TBS, Kelford, Warspeed, and more. Trusted by some of Australia's toughest burnout and race builds. Australia-wide shipping. Get sorted at longboostperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
We can do better. Needs more boost. Whether you're running a business, working on the job, or prepping for your next pass down the strip, a SuperCheap Auto trade account gives you trade pricing on essential automotive parts and consumables.
I'm Luke from Mayfair Marketing. We are the official marketing partner of Jamboree, and we work with hundreds of businesses across Australia in almost every industry. For the last decade, we've been developing tailored marketing strategies to help business owners unlock new areas of growth. If you own a business and want to truly grow, reach out.
Every champion starts somewhere, and every automotive career begins with the right training. Hello, and welcome to the Oceana College of Technology Automotive Training Center. Welcome. Come on inside and let's have a look around. At Oceana College of Technology, we're passionate about developing the next generation of automotive professionals. Whether you're a first-year apprentice, halfway through, or getting near the end of your journey, we're here to help you succeed. For more than a decade, Oceana has proudly trained apprentices all across Queensland, preparing them for a rewarding career in one of Australia's fastest growing industries. Our industry-focused training includes diesel fuel technology, heavy vehicle mechanical technology, automotive refinishing technology, spray painting, automotive body repair technology, panel beating, air conditioning technology, automotive underbody technology, automotive electrical technology, and automotive light vehicle technology, mobile plant technology, automotive servicing, and parts interpreting. With hands-on learning, experienced trainers, and nationally recognized qualifications, Oceana gives you the skills and confidence to succeed. At Oceana College of Technology, not only do we have this fantastic workshop, but we also come to you. We've trained thousands of apprentices all over Queensland, so whether you want to come here or you want us to come to you, we look forward to hearing from you soon and get your journey started.
We'll have to try. Are we trying that out? If it's good, it looks like it's good. We're on the live stream. Hey, how good's this? How good's this? I mean, it's just A-list everywhere. Hey, we've got Crank Motorsport to thank for the live stream this weekend at Jamboree. We're here on Friday. Sam from Cranked, you're looking at your beautiful R35. Johnny Elf's driving it for you. You're driving the other white car.
Yep.
I mean, you've been watching Jambo from a distance for a little while, mate. What made you take the plunge to go into a big investment like this?
Mate, just the fun of it, and just get the car down the track. Just it, like just the fun of the racing. That's it.
Well, I mean, it's a great identity, you know, Cranked Motorsport. This is what Jambo's been like for 25 years, 35 years. It's just something about Jambo's. It's mainly an import sort of slant to it. This is Nissan-powered Nissan. Are you a Nissan guy at heart?
I am, mate. I am. RB the world.
RB the world.
Yeah, mate. All the way.
Now, of course, tell us about the engine and combo in this.
It's an RBX, Liberty quick speed gearbox. 20-something 100 horsepower, fucking, and the rest of it.
Yeah, that's the rest of it. That's a lot.
That pays for
I know, you're the one paying for the bills. Johnny, where is Johnny else? He's around here somewhere. Johnny gets to drive it.
Come here.
Come over here, Johnny. Now, Sam, of course, owner of Crank, but Johnny, so when Sam asks you to drive a car of this, well, I suppose, calibre, I mean, you know, do you say yes straight away, or do you say, well, listen, what are the rules?
No, I did actually say yes straight away. I was pretty excited. Yeah, it was just, it's a big thing to drive a car this level, really. So, yeah, I was definitely happy.
Well, I mean, you know, we call them Factory Extreme. We call them, they're literally nearly pro mods. So the history of this car, obviously, I mean, was this a 35 from Australia? Was it? What's our heritage with this car?
It was called Godzilla.
Oh, it was the Godzilla one.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It was the original Godzilla from...
Was that Mark Jacobson, maybe, from that?
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
Because there's, again, we need Ancestry.com to trace all these race cars, but R35s, there's not too many of them in the world as a pro mod. What's it like to drive already?
Oh, the car's awesome to drive. Like, just the way it feels and pretty much the whole thing. It's an awesome car.
Now, Sam, having this car and driving the other one, which is a street car on steroids, you happy to keep Johnny in this thing, mate, or do you want to crank? Do you want to crank this yourself, Mr. Cranked? Do you want to crank it yourself?
Mate, eventually I will. He can drive for the next year or so till I get used to the 32, and then once I'm comfortable, I'll jump in it and give it a crack.
Isn't it amazing that you know, the world knows about Skylines? You know, in Australia we've got their reputation that we do a pretty nasty Skyline, and then your love of the Skylines over the years has now got you this situation. But that's good. I can't wait to see what's going to happen out of the both of you guys. Now, have we got a match up for yous in rivals, or no? You're just going to go out there and send it?
I think I've got a solo now.
So are you all ticked off for the car and everything?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Oh, well, good luck, Johnny. Good luck, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the Cranked Motorsport live stream. Good luck with that one. I feel like a Violet Crumble after looking at this. I've got that sort of Violet Crumble vibe about it. So let's test this range, shall we? Let's test this range. All right. So Sammy Afkal and Archie Kieski. So here's one of those rival matchups. So we're just checking some tyre pressures there. We're not quite in the car yet, are we? Keep pushing. We'll keep going through the middle. Archie's getting ready in the middle, so I'm not going to interview Archie right now. This is a special time when you're in the car. You don't want to be talked to. I could even talk to Felix on the way through there. What do you reckon? Dad or Sammy? What do you reckon? You got to say Dad, right?
Dad, yeah.
Going for Dad. You're looking good. You're looking good, young Felix. He's looking good. As I pick up my earpieces. All right. Oh, here he is here. Oh, we're going to have a quick interview with him. Here he goes. Just caught him on the side there.
Hello, darling.
Sammy.
How are you?
No, not bad, mate. Jambo on a Friday. It feels like Saturday, but it's a weekday, mate.
I feel like it's Sunday already.
Do you feel? Are you already worn
We've been
out?
here since Wednesday.
Yeah, so you're already done half a week.
I feel like I've done 2 weeks.
Oh, well, look, mate, you know, all we've got to do is just pace ourselves. I mean, this is nice. It's quali, but it's a match race, so that's a nice little angle.
That's it.
And who called out who? I mean, Archie's not the one to start talking trash, but he just thought, you know
I
what?
actually don't even know how it happened, but let's do it.
Two Queensland 20Bs against each other.
Hey, what better race do you want?
Yeah, no.
Oh, then you got, hold on, then you got Jay Sadik's going to kick George's ass.
Yeah, right. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah, I think the young fella's going to teach us how to drive.
Oh, I like that. Here we go. We've got hot tips. Sammy's going to give his best chance against Archie. So Sammy against Archie. I can't wait to see it. And the prediction at the end there, he's going to wipe his backside from Sadek. All right, thanks for that.
Yep, Sadek's going to wipe us all of his backside.
All right, we'll go and see if we can confirm that over here. We're just checking out here now. This is a good one. Afif versus Zoran. So that's going to be a match up there. So Afif versus Zoran. All right, here's Afif over here. I tell you what, it hasn't been the perfect lead up today with the car. I mean, this thing's a beast. Every time we look at it, we appreciate how sophisticated these things are, but there ain't no better feeling when she can run fives.
Yep, best feeling in the world.
Now, this match-up between you and Zoran, I mean, you know, we haven't had enough history between you guys to turn it into a bigger rivalry other than, you know, it's a nice way to go qualifying.
It's friendly fire, man. That's it. That's all it is. Friendly fire.
I also think it's a nice practice for racing, you know what I mean? We are qualifying, but we kind of got to stage and learn how to race and everything all over again. And we don't do it enough times in the year, thank God, because it's so expensive.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's been a lot of work to get the beast back to this after, well, Sydney. I can't believe you scraped this damn thing in Sydney.
I didn't only scrape it, I put it in the sand traps. So
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, so the car was pretty in bad shape and we turned it around in 6 weeks. So we wouldn't miss Jambo for the world. So.
And you know what, we certainly appreciate you doing that here. Of course, Matuk 2J, which is a really rare thing as well. Nice little match up against Zoran. May the best man win. Again, qualifying. It's, as you said, a bit of friendly fire, a nice battle, a nice little practice for tomorrow anyway. So good luck.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
All right, so Afif's ready. Afif's ready to go. He'll get in the car shortly. Is Zoran in the car? Where is Big Z? The Big Z, where is he? Where is he? Oh, the Big Z's down there. Oh, there's Rob. Oh, well, we'll talk to Rob. We'll get to Rob. We've got Rob and Rod. That's a good one. Rob and Rod. All right, we'll come over here. 2J versus RB here too. Hey, Rob, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see Zeus out there laying down some 570s. We talk about this in Sydney because you've got the clutch steel back in it there. You can go swinging for your 550s and your 540 dreams. We know that's it in ultimate conditions, but you also got to race the thing every other day. So you're happy to go 70s for now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think we're just here to race. As the car sort of, as the event comes on, goes forward, we'll slowly creep up on it. Who knows what sort of numbers we see. But
no worries.
Well, just want to get it down the track. That's the main thing, and just put on a show for the crowd.
Now, look, here's a question I always have to ask you. How many cars are you driving this weekend? Just this one, or you got another one?
Just this one today.
Oh, that's good, because, I mean, you get to steer a lot of different things, and, you know, if it's four-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Do you have a preference? Is this the ultimate, the Pro Mod style?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I love this.
Unless you know what the front wheels are for. with low 6-second GTRs. The front wheels are our enemy, right?
Yeah, certainly are. You steer left, it goes right. You steer right, it goes left. Yeah, that's the GTR for you.
That's crazy uncharted territory, and he's on both of it. So, 2J versus RB. I know that, again, with qualifying, it's a great little angle, but I love Rivals Night, and welcome to Friday Night Lights.
Thank you so much.
All right, Rob Barjon. So, Rob and Rod. Now, Rod's getting all strapped in there. What are you saying there, Renee? We're looking for Big Z. You reckon we can find Big Z on the way back here? This is working all right, isn't it? This is good range, isn't it? Welcome to country. Ash, good to see you, mate. All right, here he is. Oh, here he is. We found him. I was looking up this end, but here he is here. Little Zoran, how are you, mate?
Good, very good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. Now, I thought, you know, when I see you hop in the Celica, it's like, well, we've seen you wrestle the BMW, you wrestled the Pro Mod in between that. So, yeah, of course, you're super qualified, but we could have put a smaller bloke in the car.
Yeah, it's like I'm driving a little go-kart.
It is for you. Well, it looks like a little go-kart when you see Big Z in there. Nice little match up here against Afif, but I mean, it's good that you got the drive, and again, no clutch to worry about today.
Yes, no clutch, auto, trans brake, much easier.
Much easier. No, it's going to be a nice little session here tonight. Yep. What have you found out with testing today? You had a few little things come in there. It was working, and then what nipped you there last time?
So they've got a new FT700 in the car, so it's still on trial. And the first one we went out, it was all good, and they just made a few changes. They just didn't like it in the burnout, didn't come up in the RPM, and try again now.
Well, I know you pushed it back for a bit, tried to fix it there, and then when it didn't do it again, you went straight back to the pits.
Yeah, with this side, I was just getting too hot with the tyre and the converter and the box. I said, we'll come out for Q1 and try again.
Oh, well, you're going to try up against a thief here, and again, both guys not perfect today by any stretch, but hey, anything happens here, Q1. Forget it's Q1, just pretend it's a race just for about 2 minutes.
Pretend it's the final.
Oh, well, if you want to tip him on form, I'll tip him on form. All right, good on you, Big Z. So as we said, the rotator is out there. Archie, have a look at this. I mean, this is the Queensland 20B here, of course, Maz Fix. I don't want to talk to Archie inside the car because this is a time that you don't want to, you want to get in, distract the drivers from that moment. Because if you can have a look, and we could probably just use visual, just turn around and just zoom in on Archie there if you can. Like he's just getting his thoughts about him, and as you would with a car like this, low 6-second potential. So Sammy's in the car. Johnny Elfs, I think, is going to go by himself. So it's going to be Archie and Sam. It's going to be Afif and Zoran. We're going to have Rob and Rod in there as well. Now remember, we haven't called out any of the Pro Compact guys yet. We've got a couple of other matchups for them too. So we're just at Factory Extreme time, which means the rest of them will be on their way to be called here shortly. Let me just check the text, because we are getting texts through. Actually, none of those that are actually needing us for this. So you nearly have to lose these sunglasses here in a sec. Have to nearly lose these sunglasses. Oh, that rotator. That's plenty. Can't hear it.
Can't go too.
There we go. So that's no man's land over there. Can't go too far close to the track. But not too far from getting underway.
We can go out to the back.
Well, we could roam out the back there. We could go down spot on alley there, or we just wait for the talent to arrive here. We'll just watch this. Here we go. I just wonder who else we could talk to here at Jamboree. I just wonder if we walked around whether we find someone, or he just walks up to us here. Happy Jambo Friday.
Thank you. Rocky
Raham here from PAC. What about this Friday session, Friday night? What do you think?
Yeah, good. I like the idea. During the day we did a couple of test passes, but having this first qualifier Friday night with a little bit of a match-up is a good thing. Hopefully we get the crowd involved and, big burnouts, and maybe you sell some shirts. What do you reckon?
Oh, well, I know how you go with shirts up here, mate. They sell off the shelf. But how busy today? 3 cars, turning them around. Again, with the testing, sometimes hit and miss. If it's a clutch call or whatever, it's a shake, it's an aborted run.
Yeah.
What do you get out of today? Give us a little sum up on all 3 cars.
Well, look, I'll just give you a quick update. Last Thursday, we took the RX-9 out for a run. On its first pass, it exploded. The flywheel, clutch, tore through the can, broke the chassis, fuel lines, a little bit of electricals. So we spent the last 9 days working 15, 16 hours a day at least. We rebuilt the whole car, new can, new clutch, new mid-plate, new engine plate, new wiring, had the machine stuff that we couldn't buy, had to get a new titanium can. So yesterday was the first time the car's been out since we put all the clutch and rebuilt the car. So if it wasn't for that testing, we'd be nowhere. Like yesterday, the car was playing up, it was crawling, it was creeping out of the hole. Every time we got on the two-step, it would roll out. So that testing for us was really, really important. Probably we would have tried to do it in Sydney, but the fact that the track here is good and at least we're testing for these conditions. So, it's been a godsend.
That's a hell of a lot of yakka. I mean, Netflix can't write a story like this, mate. And that was just over a week ago that happened, last Thursday.
Yep, last Thursday. So, car was on a mission as well. It was 390 at the 8th. So the car was hauling. And we were pretty happy because it was only supposed to be a hard pass. And we get back and there's just like, looks like it's just been in a war. The thing's just torn to pieces. So heartbreaking, but George is in one piece. All the safety gear did its job. There was shrapnel all over up and down the racetrack. The guys at Sydney Dragway cleaned it all up. And of course we got the car back together. Never say die attitude. We stopped the whole shop, our CNC machines. We're making parts around the clock to get this thing rolling.
How's that for a story? So, having known that to knowing what we see now, all we can do is wish you all the best. And you know what? It's not Jambo without PAC.
Thank you.
All right, you icon, fellow icons, 2 icons, by the way. All right, thanks. There you go. All right, well, guess what? Johnny Elfs is going up there. That just came to us. I'm going up. So, Mark, Terry, are you there? Grab that and we'll be up in a sec.
Oh, thanks for that, Diggles. We are moving into our first qualifying session here under the lights for the Garrett Advancing Motion Jamboree 2026. It will be Factory Extreme, brought to us by Precision Turbo and Engine. Q1. Terry, you joining me on the microphone. You're not meant to be working today, Terry.
Mate, I'm not supposed to be working today, so this is just a little guess before Diggs comes back. But, yes, mate.
Actually, I think your microphone just turned off, Terry.
That's a
there
little
we
bit.
go.
I'm not supposed to be working, so I'm not even given any mic time, so it's
Yeah.
okay, Mark. Mate, it seems like forever since you and I have commentated together.
It's been a while, yeah. Well, what better than Factory Extreme here, qualifying session number 1, under the lights.
How good does it look, though? We get the mighty Nissan here, get to see what it can run. So, John, what are you thinking, Mark? Look, Chris has been down there. He's pressed the flesh. He's had a chat. These categories, do they hold back? Do they throw it out?
Well, no,
what are they going to do? They're just going to do what they're going to do.
Factory Extreme is throwing it out the track. They want to know what the track can hold here on a Friday night. A lot of these guys have been testing during the week as well. So they've got a lot of laps on board, got a lot of data on board. We've got the Crank Motorsport team here moving forward. Q1, Factory Extreme. We've had some 5-second cars in testing in Factory Extreme.
And just like that, Mark, I'm handing it over to Mr. Diggles.
There you go. You got your little stint here.
It's only because Terry said, I shouldn't be working tonight, but I'll jump in there. Oh, look at it, pick the wheel up in second gear, half track now, 404, 184 and a 617. 617, 230 mile an hour. It did everything right off the line, Mark Allen. 101 in the 60-foot.
The crew looked happy down there, so that's it's obviously a good pass for them.
I just met Sam from Cranked Motorsport, and you might have seen him on the interview. Did we score a biro here? Did we have a biro, or did I nick it already?
I got one right
here,
you
got a biro. It was camouflaged.
Yep. You know, we got some commentary awards that we've got to keep an eye on this weekend as well, Diggles. We'll talk about that throughout tonight and tomorrow as we see the next pairing come forward here for Factory Extreme.
All right, here it is. This is one of the matchups, Jamboree Rivals Night. Jambo races settle old scores. That was 53% for Sammy, 46.9% for Archie.
They're close numbers. I can't remember who I picked. This is pretty much a flip of a coin.
Well, I love that. You know, Sammy goes and does the roll racing. He does his thrash nights down the road. I mean, Sammy's out there popping 2-steps on social media. Archie keeps to himself. He's built Mazfix. We're talking about building empires through drag racing, through Archie's exploits down the drag strip. Mazfix is another one of those shops that has got themselves into a situation where, you know what, you've done all the hard yards, you continue to show up in the flagship, but the business is based on the racing prowess and the knowledge Archie has built up over the years. He's remember one of the first to run a 7 in Australia with a sport compact car into the 7s with a rotary. Into the 6s, of course, I think Pack was the first into the 6s, but Archie first into the 7s. 20B on board. Sam Afcal, the 20B Queensland Property Group. RX8 against what do we call it, a Mazda 6, this one of Archie's.
Yeah, Archie's made some really positive steps the last 6 months in this car. He had some steps forward. They struggled for a little bit for the last couple of years, but definitely the last 6 months have stepped it up and starting to see what we know that this Mazda can do for the Mazfix performance team for Archie Kajeski.
Rotor versus Rotor. Let's just see how they go. It's qualifying. Yes, it's got a bit of a racing feel to it, but that's what we love.
So 53% of the people think that Semi Afcal will get the win here over Archie.
Big shout out to everyone watching on the Cranked Motorsport live stream. Here we go. 20B triple turbo. Now Archie's thing's turned off there or something. I think Archie's trying to start his car. There it is. Archie's going to try and even get that in the stage. How can he even do that? How did he do it? Oh, he rolled through. Look, he's going to get some data out of it. It's not going to be on a time slip, but whatever data he can get. But look, that was just... I saw it with my own eyes right here, Mark, as we were reading stuff on the screen. Look, the wind light, we've got no wind light anywhere, but the wind will be the Sammy. The win there to Sammy. So you could tell it. Archie bumped that thing in the stage, and then all I saw on the dump pipe, and if we got a little replay at the start line, you have a look at this. Archie, the thing is stalled. You see him go straight to the overhead switches and start to try and start the car. What a situation to be caught in. It's Sammy got to bring in the next bulb and we're away. Archie's in there. Watch this. So Sammy's in. Archie goes in, rolls out, but it was just what happened probably 10 seconds before that scenario. Archie's in there. The unburnt fuel in the dump pipe was kind of just swirling around in the dump pipe. Archie's straight on the switch panel trying to start the car while it's in stage.
And you remember, he's only got 7 seconds to get it into stage as well, so there was a lot happening for Archie inside the car.
But even just for Archie to, in that moment, get the thing started and then go, well, I can still try and race here, and then just dragging through at the end. So here we go. Second on the list for Jamboree Rivals Night. It is all, it's 2J versus 2J. It was Afif and Mikhail against Zoran Gadjic. And look at this one's a little bit more stacked towards Afif. 57.6% went for Afif. 42.3% think that it's actually going to be Zoran in the gas Celica that might reign supreme. So let's have a look here.
Well, I actually put I voted for Zoran in this one. So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say who I voted for.
No, but that's all right, mate. When you go on previous
and
form.
the reason I did that is because Zoran is such a tough racer. He's good on the track. The car is super consistent. They get it down the track 8 out of 10 laps.
That's right. So on previous form from this car and other cars, as we know, in the hands of Joe, in the hands of not so much Zoran, but Joe and Paul Mahate's driven this car as well. And this car is proven low six, high 5 second with the auto. Afif, though, is deep into the fives now with this car. Billet 2J, converter, lock-up, Liberty.
So I don't know, has Afif done any testing this week?
He has. He belted out. Well, he belted out a run here earlier on today into the. Well, actually, I have to check. We'll have to flick that back up and see. Probably not going to get it.
That might have changed my vote.
Well, I mean, I think on current form, it's looking pretty good. But here's Zoran. He's in this situation where now it's actually making boost. And it's doing, well, I was about to say it's making power and doing skids, but it did light itself up there. Look, this afternoon, they were having all sorts of troubles getting the thing to actually see any boost and flare up. So, again, this team built its reputation on the drag strip, and at one stage in the world was the world's quickest sport compact car. I remember the day Joe went the 30, was it the 38? I think I remember the day that he put it first into the 630s, backed it up that day as well. But the old school OG, I shouldn't call it old school, the Celica, it is one of the OGs of Factory Extreme, and up against Afif. He's going to try again here. He can't do the burnout too big here. All right, so look, not a lot to come out of Zoran just with that one. That does not want to light up like it normally does. Right now, Afif is sitting there waiting. So look, all you can assume Zoran will do now is that driver courtesy will kick in now. I don't think they can attempt the third skid if they try. They're going to just try and put it in, see what happens. Look at Anthony Batuk directing from the front here right now. The crew starting to pull away from the car. Anthony basically says to Afif, engage, meet your start line guide, which is ready. Steve Hardy there guiding in Zoran Gadjic. 2 half attempts at the skid. Paul Mahade is still going to check wheelie bar heights, and we are going to have ourselves a match race here. Right now, Rivals Night. Who knows again? Zoran Gadjic, Afif Mikhail. So far it's, well, Rotary versus Rotary, so a Rotary gets the win. This is 2J versus RB. So if we are going to keep count, let's keep count here tonight on Rivals Night. Look at that beautiful dusk background there on the Christmas tree. Pro Turbo should be in the staging lanes, please. Pro Turbo to the staging lanes. My texts are a little bit late coming through. All right, there it is. Thing comes out all right, but again, it's just sanding tiny bit off, just a little bit off the mark there as it leaves the line. It's just, look, Zoran got in there and did what he had to do. The win will go to Afif, but he wasn't going to attempt to send that when it's just not making that power, lighting up and getting the boost getting the boost wound up in that car. And of course, that's also important, Mark,
Yep.
isn't it, when it's like a 3-litre, 3.2-litre
You
engine.
need it, yeah.
You need all that RPM and turbo boost to make the thing do anything. Running it on a torque converter, and remember, these guys are running big turbo 400 in it. All right, the next matchup, Rivals Night here for Factory Extreme will be, get this is overwhelming for me. Rod Harvey versus Rob Marjan. Rod versus Rob, 69.7% of our Rivals Night folk judged that they reckon Zeus will take this one out. Look, and you can't argue on the 570 today from Zeus. Mind you, Rod Harvey, everywhere along the line today has been showing us that this car has got the potential. The start line part's nearly solved.
Well, he's been in the 60s, so...
I had a talk to Natalie Harvey just before, and they've had a TPS issue. Now, initially thought it was a clutch issue because the thing wasn't making power. Something with the clutch wasn't helping. And would you believe they went back and found a faulty TPS, which is a throttle position sensor. Remember, very important with EFI systems. And remember, lucky a lot of these cars probably aren't drive-by-wire just yet, but they certainly do have throttle position sensors on them. So when you don't get... There we go. Zoran Gadget was disqualified for crossing the start line twice, so that's a call there anyway. It is, of course, at Cranked Motorsport was the ex-Godzilla Motorsports car. And then red and maroon for Motorsports Mechanical. So there you go. There's the history on that. Big shout out to Greg Howe watching around a campfire in cold, chilly Victoria. Thank you for watching the live stream presented by Cranked Motorsports. All right, so Rod Harvey. So this TPS issue's been solved. So the computer's not confused. The clutch isn't confused. All the things on the car that rely on where the throttle position is are not confused anymore, and it sounded a lot better in the burnout. Rob Marjan, now this is one thing that you very rarely see in Factory Extreme anymore. Clutches. Both of them have clutches in them, which means you're bringing that thing in on a clutch pedal. You're bringing in a lot of anti-lag and start line boost. So expect nearly 10,000 RPM from the RB and 10,000 RPM from the 2J with 40 plus PSI start line set in. Then you've got to make that thing move 2 inches with a stationary gearbox and then engage and let it go down the track. Here we go. Big match up here. 2 clutch cars. RB versus 2J. Harvey versus Marjan. I tell you what, could be a little upset here because he had to paddle it a little bit. Harvey's on a number 578. He's back. 578 for Harvey. That's the upset. When you look at who was going for who, Harvey, 578. They're happy. 991 in the 62. 991. We've got to get that back, and it's too late.
It was 258 mile an hour across the finish line. It was 3.8 seconds to half track. I think it was 387, but don't quote me on that now.
Yeah, that is a good hit. Can we get that back again? A little quick replay as we survey the track. But how good is it to see 2 clutch cars coming in with the anti-lag and the 2-step? And that takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of precision to do that. And yeah, Rob, I think, just overpowered the track. I was watching Harvey straight out the hole. Did it go 991 in the 60 or something? It was a very good 60. Look how happy Natalie is. Look how happy Carlos and Benny Bray are. It's just such a relief to get the monkey off the back because that car can, honestly, it's such a proven car. To get back into that sweet spot, it's run 560s, that car, so we know it can do it. And there was a 78 right there, and we thought, you know what, if they both went side by side to the stripe, we'd see side by side 570s. Just to remind us just how cool Factory Extreme is. Okay, there we go. So the news is down the bottom that Rod Harvey has gone deep, but he's not in the sand. So Rod hasn't quite got didn't quite get to the bottom loop. He's gone through, but he's not in the sand. So there is a Supra a little deep down there, as you would at 258 mile an hour. And again, grabbing the chutes and trying to pull it up.
400 kilometres an hour there, so it's not too bad.
400 plus Ks. So that is a big moment down there for Rod Harvey. I suppose after a while, when you're caught in this little sort of you're in a dark spot with the tune and the car's throwing you curveballs run after run, you almost forget what it's like to go 258 mile an hour. Now Rod remembers real quick. It's 258 mile an hour coming over that hill. It comes up real quick. Got to get on them chutes and pull the thing up. And that's the Supra, the Iwasa battery car's just gone a little deep, but not to the gravel. And if you know about the bottom end down there, we do have a, let's not call it a paddock, it's a runoff area. What are we? Are we are we grass? Are we hard grass there? I can't remember what.
So the racetrack's about 1 kilometre in
Yes,
full length.
yes.
And then you go into the sand trap.
Yes.
And
Sand trap. So the gravel is, I call that the sand trap.
Yep.
So we're not driving through gravel rods, probably just driving up that runoff road.
Yep.
As we say, there's a bottom loop. You come around the corner, that last loop, it's all asphalt. But if you go straight, I think we've got that, it's a mown, manicured, grassed area there, I think.
yeah. So the problem with, because he's gone deep, he hasn't gone into the sand, we don't have any gates down there. So
Yeah.
they've actually got to back him out,
All the way
reverse
out.
him back up
Yep.
the track, and then he's off the racing surface. So
And that's the one thing that we...
it only takes about a minute.
Well, I mean, that's all. And you remember when we see the same thing at Sydney Dragway, I mean, that's that sort of uphill braking area there. So you get to see where we sit down there, all the way up to hill to see where they've gone. Down here, it goes over the horizon, and it's hard for us to see over the horizon there. A message has come from Race Control that is indeed the case. Ryder had just not made the bottom loop, still had a bit of speed up, trying to pull it up at 258 mile an hour. So he's just going around the last little, or getting plucked back out, straight back out the area there. And of course, if you've got the chutes out, you've got to get them on the back deck before you do that. So it's a shame there that Zoran couldn't get the Celica down the track there, but decided, you know what, two failed attempts at a burnout. Let me just put it in a stage, not stuff anyone around, and let Afif go.
So how have we gone so far in the rivals nights? We've had a few laps down.
We
Because
do.
Harvey got the win, so he was
No,
the
I've got it
lowest.
here. Yeah, so Sammy against Archie because Archie rolled through. Afif against Zoran. Rod against Rob. So we're going to supposed to have George Raham and Jay Sadek at some stage, which is right now I can see the next pairing down. So an all rotor versus rotor Factory Extreme rivals pairing to finish off Factory Extreme Q1 tonight. So did you hear that? Did you hear the story that we're talking with Rocky? What happened a week ago testing the RX-9?
Yeah, I
in
caught
Sydney?
the end of that one. Yeah.
So he's had the flywheel explode in the car and did a ton of damage. And from what Rocky was just telling us then, the amount of work, and I'm sure there'd be some film of some evidence of all of that, which you can release eventually, but you wouldn't want to do it in the scheme of things, especially if you didn't ultimately make it to Jambo. So you wouldn't want to sort of publish all the hardships until you've overcome them. And I'm sure in the future there'd be a little yarn to come out with some footage of not only the damage that thing did when that flywheel exploded, but the resultant damage in regards to what else they had to change. They reckon the clutch can was like an egg as that flywheel had let go. So as Rocky said, in some ways it's almost a blessing in disguise, purely because had nothing happened like that down there then, what would have happened here, Q1 at Jambo or testing at Jambo when that would have happened obviously here instead of down there when they would have had no chance. Even overnight with all the skills and talent we can muster in this part of the world, it's nothing better than if you did do it in Sydney testing, that you would take it back to your shop and all the resources, all the hands on deck that you can get to help get that back. And that's why that RX-9 is here from the actions of dozens, probably dozens of people. To get it back, what they had to remake, and I'm sure there'll be some story in the future about it. Yeah, that's right. We're just down the end there. Getting messages through on who to... Some guys wanting me to chat to him. Oh, can I chat to you after you knock off work? Oh, when do you knock off work? Oh, mate, I'll be here till late. Oh, God, where are you working? It's Friday. I said, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Just another person inquiring about Mer Cruises. So, yeah, we will address that probably on the way home. Of course, this is a now technically 3-day event. I've been out here all Friday. You've had the half day. Terry had the half day. You've shopped for a zombie apocalypse by the look of it. You got 3 massive bags of shopping here, Mark. What's in there, mate? Tell us what you've packed for the 3 days of Jambo here.
It's just always a busy weekend, mate. So we need our snacks.
You do love your snacks. You've got your snacks in there. Of course, our Jambo compound's always looking after us.
We do get a lot of stuff from the race teams as well, which is always good.
You never go.
Who brought those steaks up the other year, last year or the year before? They were amazing.
You remember a steak, don't you?
Yeah.
Might be, I was loving our Japanese visitors again here last year that have been here
Japanese
before. They loaded us up with whiskey and this beautiful smoked cheese, which I couldn't get enough of.
The smoked cheese, that was nice.
The snacks, that was just fantastic. But yeah, the food. Some people come to Jambo for the food. I come to Jambo for the energy, for the vibe. Here's the next Jamboree Rivals Night matchup as we fished Rod Harvey out of the run-off area, and all 20B and all Pack 20B matchup, and a 58.9% swing towards Jay Sadek. And again, there'd be a lot of internal family voting there, I think.
Moving forward here, and of course this is still qualifying as well for Factory Extreme. We do have the Rivals Night, but it is qualifying as well. Rod Harvey's currently the #1 qualifier with that 578. John Elfs is #2 with a 617, and Robert Marjan rounds out the top 3 with his 681 as we see the next pairing come forward here. George Raham and Jay Sadek.
All right, Jay into the low sixes here today. It is still the quickest rotary automatic car in the world. George Raham, as we said, got the clutch, new flywheel back in it, new clutch can, all the gear. Got the 5-speed back in it. They have a 7-speed option for this thing, which is in the Camaro. Camaro's got a 7-speed. It's got a 5-speed back in it. He said it's got enough grunt to pull the 5. I reckon it's got enough grunt to pull 4. I reckon it's got enough grunt just to pull 3. Whatever they need to do with this thing. He said the power band is such a sharp rise from where it's making no power to all its power. Then you're going to try and turn that into a sort of a generous clutch setup. How do you do that?
Well, that's why the tuners get paid the big bucks, mate.
Rusty Gregory at the airport. He's inbound. He's inbound. Oh, Friday night burnouts. I tell you what, that's not a bad attempt there, Jason Eck, but there's only one George Raham out there. Look at that beautiful backdrop we've got on the camera right now. This love of sunburnt country, Jambo on a Friday night, where the racing's exciting and also very tight. A Landwehr piston versus rotor match up in due course. It's not about the size of the ride, but the size of the fight in the horse. Banjo diff. It's a new bush poetry I'm working on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, rotor versus rotor. Clutch pedal against auto, so Jason Eck gets to bump this thing in. Georgie's got to bring that big size 16 boot off the clutch pedal. I think he's about size 16. I could be underestimating his shoe size, Georgie, but he could be a big size 15 in there. I need to know his shoe size now. I've got to find that out. Anyone know? Any AI people out there can tell us George Raham's shoe size? Number 15. Let's just say a big size 15. Going to bring this thing in. Jay's going to ring this in on the torque converter, the trans brake, and the bump box. Oh, people at the fence, watch this. Watch them all. Watch them all. Oh, he's got... Oh, what a wheel stand for Georgie on the pedal, trying to haul down Sadek at the end. Oh, 632 beats a 648. How about that? 100 for George, 102 off the 60 for Jay Sadek, 100, 102. Bit of shake and a pedal there from George. I want to see a quick replay while we've got the opportunity. Not only a bit of shake and pedal, but then the power wheelie to half track from George. Everyone loving the two-step on the line. It's shattered a few people there on the line. I loved watching everyone on the fence just rebound back on the two-step. You nearly see it in the... And then here's the pedal, and then there's the wheelie from George. He gets the wheels back up. Nearly got Jay at the stripe. Wow, it just gave it up a little bit in the end, but the 648 with the pedal there for George Raham. And God bless the clutch pedals, eh? Just crazy to see. How's everyone's reaction on the fence here when the old two-step comes out? Everyone just reels back from the flames. It's just, it's a hell of an experience. So there we go. Jay Sadek the win. So a win to Rod Harvey, a win to Afif McCarr, a win to Jay Sadek, and a win to Sam Afcole in our Rivals Night. All right, Pro Turbo Rivals Night. Here we go.
Then we've got one more fact. No, we're moving into Pro Turbo now.
Okay, Outlaw Pro Mod to the staging lanes 4 and 5. Outlaw Pro Mod Street... Outlaw Pro Mod to staging lanes 4 and 5. Outlaw Pro Mod to lanes 4 and 5. Pro Compact to lanes 2 and 3. Pro Compact to lanes 2 and 3. Pro Compact lanes 2 and 3. Outlaw Pro Mod to staging lanes 4 and 5. Rivals Night, how good is it?
Yeah, long boost performance pass, bringing us Pro Turbo.
All right, so no Isaac Afcal this round, so no show. So it's going to be Cookie, 34.5%, only back the 2J Chevy, what are we, S10. So he gets a nice hit here on the Friday night. How good does the pickup look with the 2J in it? Cookie back here, Horsepower Solutions, of course, the 2JZ on board, auto on board. Apparently we've got some debris. Rusty spotted some debris on his phone. Tell you what, must have pretty good resolution on the phone if he's spotting debris at half track. Which lane is it, DJ Milkshake? You'll have to let us know. They're going nuts in the stream. What do you mean they're going nuts in the stream, mate? Oh yeah, Wayne's reported stuff on the track at half track as well. Righto. In that lane, interesting. Stuff on the track, left lane, 330 foot. All right, keep an eye out at 330 foot. All right, Cookie, I hope whatever it is. Okay, he's past that area, half track at like a little early click maybe, 784, 136. Hey, a good lick to half track, 474, 148, first hit of the day and first hit of the weekend for Justin Cook, 113 in the 60. Got out and did everything, but yeah, there is some reports, people saying that there might be something just out on the track, might be a bit of, so there's some rubber, there's definitely some rubber, maybe it may have come out of a wheel arch or something, so there is just, we've had a couple of people report, some scouts reported out sort of towards 330 foot, that we've seen something come off, maybe whether it was Georgie's car on the shake. Now remember, Georgie is about there that Georgie got on the wheelie there, so he sort of shook for a bit out further, gave it a pedal and then hit it again. Now, whether or not just rattled a bit of rubber from under the wheel arch or whatever, but hey, we have had some very keen-eyed people alert us. They basically come through and message me, which is, I mean, I can't control anything other than just what people are relaying. It is a bit of rubber. Yeah, a bit of rubber out of Pax's car has been spotted by more than 3 people by the look of that. All right, might have been there from the burnout. Okay, so there we go. Might have actually got on the track from the burnout. Wasn't from the actual... from the pedal. So whatever that little chunk was, we've picked that chunk up. Cookie went down through there, 784, early click at 136 mile an hour. All right, so we are just going down for a quick scan there. All right, so that's all we need to do. All right, the next Rivals Night matchup in Pro Turbo is going to be Piston versus Rotor. And I can't believe this. Where's all the Rotor love for Jerry? 25.8%. There might have been a lot of Bundaberg voting happening here, and 74.2% for Jason Payne, for Painey.
I think that's the biggest spread so far that we've had in the Rivals Night.
Rusty Gregory just called me Jambo Jesus. Well, he's on fire already. Hasn't even left Sydney. Rusty's so ready for Jambo, it's not funny. Oh, nice big skids, gentlemen, I must agree. Jerry Keel from Albion, of course, Mr. Direct Clutch, 20B on board, and not a lot of love coming his way in the matchups. Meanwhile, Jason Payne from Bundy, 74% go for the Bundy boy.
Now, both these cars have run to the 6s, haven't they, Biggs?
They certainly have. Paney has gone deep into that territory. Full tube car, rear wheel drive, RB30, 3.2 litre, automatic on board. I think I'll have to have a listen to it, whether it's a power glide or a 3-speed. I know we'll just have to see how violent it is in the first short run of the track there, because the 3-speeds with these cars kind of can really multiply that torque. And this is a beautifully set up car. He's run, of course, a lot in Super Comp as well. So he's actually run this car as a double D altered production injected automatic. You notice that's not anywhere clogging up the race number today. He's good old-fashioned Pro Turbo, always will be. So one more matchup in Pro Turbo. This is a piston versus rotor matchup. Paney, odds-on favourite against, doesn't give Jerry a chance out there according to the numbers. You know, Jerry, any time, can belt out 6-second runs with this, and he isn't a guy that will never probably... If Jerry Keel ever ended up with a converter in his car, go and check him, just do a few little snap. Jerry, okay, Jerry? Clutches his business every day. He's always going to have a clutch. Oh, I tell you what, off the Pro tree, he got the hammer down, but Here comes that power from Payne. He sends the little R32 658. 658, 202 mile an hour. 658, 202. And Jerry early shoots out for him. He did get the whole shot. 254 to a 666. Left him standing.
Jerry had half a second on the tree there. If that held all the way to the finish line, we would have had an upset.
It would have been a great battle all the way to the finish line. But
especially with that top-end charge from Payne as well. Yeah, that's a good lap for Jason Payne.
Well, I don't have the increments there, but that 658 at 202, I think early click and shoots out for Payne as well.
Yeah, you could see the shoots out there in the finish line.
You do not want to show all of your hand early on. You know, sometimes I think qualifying, it's a good thing to, go hard, but if you've got a little bit of room to not show your full hand, I reckon in qualifying you can do that.
And sometimes it's a planned shut-off as well, just to make sure everything's right, they're not hurting anything, and then they come back out and they're happy with it all.
All right, Rivals Night match-up. The next match-up, this is a bit tighter. All 2J match-up here. Eddie Howark from New South Wales, 57.5% reckons that the RX-7 with the 2J might just take out Ben Slaughter's 2JZ Supra. All right, so this will be a great matchup. And of course, Ben, another one with a clutch in it. Eddie with the auto. I think a 3-speed, turbo 400, I think. Had this thing on an absolute string. Remember that big run after run, Eddie just 50s, 40s, 30s, the big left-hand dangle as he would take it down the track. When this car's dialed in of Eddie Howark's, it's a formidable racing weapon. He's also proven that, didn't he, with Factory Extreme at the Winners this year as well? I think he went pretty close to that.
Not too sure, I can't remember that. No, I wasn't calling the Factory Extreme class at the Winters.
My memory's not the best either, but I do remember Eddie towards the pointy end because it is such a good combo.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast, mate.
I can. I remember stag chili and beans. So just a warning. Yeah, but breakfast of champions, mate. I sat there, baked beans on toast, but stag chili.
That explains a lot.
You'll find that in the baked bean aisle down the bottom there. $5 a can. It's the best 2 brekkies you'll get in the can. $2.50 a day.
Well, I can tell you what's a lot better than that. It's Pro Turbo qualifying session 1 here.
That'll put I'm thinking of a new advertising campaign. Stag chili. That'll put a rocket through you. Put a rocket under you. Tick-tock, tick-tock. My body's clock is ticking. Ben Slaughter, Eddie Howark. So Eddie from Yennora in New South Wales, 3 litre, 3.2 litre 2J for Ben Slaughter from New Beef. Another one with a clutch in the car. It's almost like they're I shouldn't say they're old school, they're just gluttons for punishment. They've got a way of wanting to do it, and they do get ultimate results. They are also in the pointy end of Pro Turbo as well. Here we go, Aaron Murphy goes, I love Friday night footy, but so much better with Jambo and Friday night bump-ins. There we go, Friday night bump-in and send. NRL, Peter Volandi's been knocking on the door. What are you guys doing on Friday night that's getting all the attention? Rivals Night! Oh, Benny was in. Benny had the clutch too hot. That clutch was dragging. Eddie's going to get the win here. Benny just had to roll through, and that will be a 6:33. No time there for Eddie, but you could just tell those seconds added up. And again, stopwatch-wise, if you were to put the stopwatch on that, that's only a couple of seconds there. That wasn't a 30-second hangout on Ben Slaughter. That's Ben going into stage with both, with the RPM up, the clutch pedal starting to, his clutch leg starting to shiver, and that clutch heat building up by the second. So every couple of seconds, Eddie's trying to burn that thing in as well. He's trying to bump that car in himself. So Eddie,
that's a shame for us, I know, because that was a good pass to Slaughter.
It was. He's got data logger that might tell him. All right, it's a pro compact matchups now. 88% go for Sup G against Doherty. They don't give Lee Doherty a chance. Now remember, Lee's not in the MX-5, he's in the RX-7. He had issues, I forget what he did, whether it was a fire or a breakage in the MX-5 in testing, and then last minute decided, let's get this thing to Jambo. And they are here. So Lee Doherty from Leppington in New South Wales. Here he is. Now remember, that's an ex-Bill Navin car, so doesn't it look so familiar? The old school RX-7, the big tyre RX-7. That was a car they'd purchased. They hadn't really decided they were going to commission that car anytime soon. But hey, Jambo coming up. break the MX-5. Let's put all the gear into the RX-7 and let's get there. So that's another struggle to get here. It's so good that they're here. Alan Dodd from Birkdale, the What Up G, Mazda RX-7. He's the only dude in Sport Compact that we've got in Australia that runs the he's got the dreadlocks like you wouldn't believe. I mean, he's a real interesting character. Dodd's in. A big shout out to his son Marley Dodd, Australian champion in boxing for his age. And keep an eye out for Marley Dodd at the Olympics in the future, because guess what? The Olympic Committee are onto him. They know who he is now. And that kid is one day, I think, going to represent Australia in boxing. Guess who's in his corner? Mr. Sup G. Used to be good at the boxing himself, Doddsy, back in the early days. A real fighter. All right, easy work, easy work. Rotor versus Rotor, Pro Compact. McKern Pro Compact. Our nighttime qualifying / rival matchups. Doherty, well, he's got nothing to lose here. The odds are against him. Sup G, they took a bit of weight out of the front end of the RX-7. Whoa, Sup G goes for the wall. He has a little pedal back on it. He gets the half track and he's still on it. Now an early click, and look, it's a 769 at 138. It was not the prettiest run. Normal smoke out of the 13B at the end, nothing to worry about. Lee Doherty gave it a good shake on the start line, but Sup G, 106. And again, it wasn't the perfect run. It got a little loose. He had to pedal it. He got it back on and still got the win.
The fact that Doherty got to the start line is attributed itself. So Alan Dodd, it was a great drive job from Alan Dodd there to get through for that 769. Pedal. It was all over the place. Anything but straight. So the experience there for Doherty. Got a lap down, but hands together for Lee Doherty and the team and what they've done to get here this weekend. And it can only improve.
Well, I mean, Doddsy, that thing's a wild ride when it's coming out of the hole, and as he said, he put some front weight in it to try and get some sort of better steering input back, and it's changed the whole attitude of the car. So they've had to creep up on the front end weight of it again. All right, our next rivals matchup: Piston versus Road. You can't even split this one. Benny Palmer representing the Rotaries, the Not 808, 50.9%, and Moe Osmonds. Now this thing, 49.1%. The odds may have hardened a little bit from yesterday when Osmonds in this Mitsubishi Lancer 4G63 rear-wheel drive deal went 672 here yesterday with this car. So a 6-second 4-cylinder indeed. Mo Osmonds, the Osmonds, another team that's just headlong into Jambo. They do a fair bit of the roll racing. They've come up and done a couple of roll racing nights here with Sammy. So the 4-mod, I love it. How good is it to see a Mitsubishi Lancer door car with a 4G63 in it, inline, Liberty gearbox, 670. Benny Palmer's going to have to really to get some potential out of that 13B to hold this Evo Lancer. How good are the pictures here, Mark Allen, on a Friday night?
A look at that. Yeah, that's great shots from our friends at Overtaken Lane.
Garrett Advancing Motion, Brisbane Jamboree brings all the boys and girls to the yard. And what about Friday night rivals night? I'm loving it. We're getting some quali out of the way. Nice bit of excitement in on a Friday night. A couple of matchups here for Pro Compact Rivals nights.
Yeah, brought to us by McKern. Yeah, Pro Compact qualifying session number 1. So currently number 1 qualifies Alan Dodd with that 769. I don't think that's going to hold.
No. Well, that's who knows. Mohammed Osman, the old Green Machine Lancer. There we go. Who's it gonna be? Piston versus Rotor, Palmer versus Osman, Queensland versus New South Wales. From Mackenzie to Rosmore. All right, gentlemen, anytime you want to engage, let's go. Osman trying to get this thing in, 7 seconds. Oh, Benny, nice little wheel stand. Osman off it there. 59. 6:59. It looked slow, no offence. It looks slow. 6:59. 211 mile an hour. Evo Lancer to the front. 10:69 for Ben Palmer. Nice big wheelie in the middle of all that. But I almost, if we got a chance, I know we're probably not going to, because here comes uncle versus nephew as the next one. But a big win there for Moe Osman. And what about the number? 6:59 at 211.
And you're right. That looked easy for him. It didn't look like a 6:59. I'm with you on that. It was such a smooth, clean pass.
There we go. Scott Leo, apparently, Scott Leo had built that car for Rob Barak back in the day. Oh, here we go. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Another Rivals Night matchup. I wanted this as the finale run of the night. I wanted nephew versus uncle right at the end there, because this is going to be a great one. Both got clutch pedals in the car. Liberty 5-speed there for Peter Rahayem. Rodney Rahayem got the 7-speed on board. There it is. That is the Bumblebee. Billet Bipack. The ultimate flagship, isn't it? They've got the RX-9 ultimate flagship, the Camaro ultimate flagship, and Junior gets to play with the RX-3s that are left laying around. I think Peter was saying even 2 years ago that, you know, they've got RX-3s in stock ready for future builds. They've gone and pretty much got every 808/RX-3 worth ever redoing. And yeah, if you want RX-3s, you can still do RX-3s.
We're just seeing that 6:59 from Mohammed. And Peter Rahayem will be in that lane for pack performance. Rodney Rahayem, the Camaro. I was looking forward to seeing this Camaro tonight for Rodney.
Now, I don't.
By pack.
But honestly, I expect the Camaro, if he's in front, to stay in front. But if for something happens and Pete goes to the line, Rodney may not show us everything tonight. I don't think they're showing us everything this car's got just yet. Let's just see if we get a taste here on Q1 Rivals Night. All right, Pack Junior against Uncle Rodney. Here we go, boys. Oh, he gapped his uncle, but look how quick the Camaro is out the half track. And look, he comes back around him early, shoots 727 to a 793. But the 103 60 foot, the 437 there from Rodney at 136 mile an hour. So there's a little bit of on and off there. The win light there goes to Pack Junior this time.
Yeah, the 437 tells me it would have been into the mid 6 second zone, probably around the 660s, 670s for him if it was out the back door for Rodney Rahayem, but rolls through for a 793. Puts him into the number 4 spot at the moment, and Peter will go to number 2.
All right, another great piston versus rotor matchup here in Pro Compact. Rivals Night, this one representing the Pistons, Fred Karam. Now that, again, nowhere else in the world do you get like an S15 Silvia with a, well, it says here Nissan. I'm sure it's still got the Cosworth engine in it. I mean, I think it's still got that BD Cosworth engine, so pretty much Cosworth Sierra style 4-cylinder in it, which is quite a unique combo. It's an angry 4-banger. Technology from the 80s, 1980s, and that's how good the old Cosworth 4-cylinders are, as they are still making big horsepower. But he's got it all against him here. Jürgen Piscopo from Sunshine North in Victoria. The little Datsun 1200 has been in the 6 second zone. Fred, I know, has got the potential to do that, but as we said, the voting went a little bit more towards Jürgen. The rotary side of things always seems to vote well. It's a good idea, isn't it, Webby, this percentage deal? This is just what people voted for online when it came to the Rivals. So it's a great deal. It's a great deal, let me tell you. As we said, 60% for Jürgen, 39% for Freddie. Let's see what happens. Rivals Night, it's Q1 for McKern Pro Compact, but it's a great little matchup as well. Now watch out here, Jürgen. If he gives up the ghost, Freddie Karam's going to come right back past him, and here he goes. Freddie is going to do the upset here, 764 there for Freddie, and he gets the win over Jürgen. So again, off the line, Jürgen, no luck off the line, 163 in the 60, 114 in the 60 foot though for Fred. So, I mean, That's waking you up. You wouldn't, when you look at that car, you wouldn't think, oh yeah, that's going to whack out some 1-1 or 1-0-60 foots, but it goes
it was smooth.
1-1-4. It came out in that clutch setup. Go attention in the pits, please. Attention in the pits. GDR to staging lane 6, please. GDR to staging lane 6. GDR to staging lane 6. That's right. We've got, they didn't turn up, eh? All right, okay. GDRs to staging lane 6, please. GDRs to staging lane 6. There was one more matchup to happen there, which was Marcus Pepe versus Simon Ionu. So from South Australia and Victoria, that was going to be the matchup. But right now, we are going into more rivals. It is Outlaw Pro Mod, thanks to Joel's Garage Gear. Strap a few more cylinders on here, folks. And we are going to start with Russ Pavey, Stu Walsh. New Zealand versus Australia, Blower versus Turbo. Here we go. 80% reckons it's all Stu. Maybe because of that picture they thought, well, Stu might be turning up in the Blower one. Because remember, Stu Walsh has 2 of these things. I mean, who's got 2 Pro Mods, honestly?
Not me.
Well, you know who's got more than 2? Carl Cox. Big shout out to you, Coxie, wherever you're watching. He's in full harvest mode. He's in full festival season. So Coxie hasn't had a chance to get too many days off. If you do get to watch this live stream or watching it right now, all of the Jamboree family says to you, Mr. Cox, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Owns more than 2 Pro Mods. Stu Walsh, he's only got 2. So let's not feel sorry for Stu for too long.
I like his race cars more than his music.
Oh, come on. I like it all about Coxie. Come on, mate. Because he's in the drag racing, you must like his music. You got to put it on a bit more Carl Cox, mate.
I must admit, when he did the gig at Sydney Dragway, I went down and had checked it out. It was good fun.
Mate, I built a lot of my altered at night on Carl Cox. There's some Carl Cox songs that go for an hour 10. And you put that jam on there, and it's amazing how much stuff you can get just with that in the background. Or not, by the way.
There we go, the line-to-line coding Pro mod car there of Russ Pavey to take on Stu Walsh.
We know the potential of the Bro mod, the turbocharged Noonan Hemi-powered.
He's been into the 5 seconds. He's run 580s, 590s with this.
Hey, Pavey has gone 570s with that thing just yesterday and today. So sounds like he's got a 5-speed in it now, Russ Pavey.
Just stepping up on it, mate. Just step by step, little by little.
Let's have a listen to the blowing car. All right, there we go. Benny Bray at the door. Rod Harvey watching in the background there after his success back into the 5s. 258 mile an hour, big top speed of the event so far, 258. Stu Walsh, Russ Pavey. And again, the picture of the Bro mod was the blow-and Bro mod, not the turbo Bro mod. So would it be different if it was turbos out the front? Oh, Stu, whole shot out of power wheelie. Oh, the parachutes come out there for Pavey. Stu Walsh still on a not a bad run. 691, but 109 in the 60. Went 033 off the button. 101 for Pavey, though. So Pavey came out like a rocket. Stu Walsh, should we get a little mini replay if we can? We're going for a wander out in front there just for the moment. But Stu came out with a bit of a power wheelie here.
Yeah, the 60 foot's going to be a bit skewed as well because he was very, very deep in stage for Stu Walsh.
Yeah, here he is bumping it in and then taking that bulb out, but then he was gone and out it came. Yeah, it went 100-plus foot out there with the wheels in the air and still gets the win as he puts it on. Win there for Stewie Walsh. And then how about Russ Pavey? The chutes come out. Of course, cars of that calibre have an electromotion system which would allow the chute. Well, the chutes would come out on a variety of different things. Proximity on the racetrack, burst panel, or a few other things that can trigger the electromotion to let the chutes out, or you can flat old just as you're steering the car, flick the handle. Could be anything.
Yeah, I'm thinking because he was still under power when the chutes came out, so I'm thinking he's bumped the chute lever, or could have just shook out.
Could have really bumped it. All right, here we go. Yeah. The next rivals night, Turbo versus Blower, and again, look at this one. This is a little bit towards NASA Matter over Steve Smith. 55% reckon the Blowen car, over 44% for the Turbo car. Smithy's home track advantage, though. Let's just see.
Smithy's car can run to the 560s.
Yes, right. So Turbo Hemi on board and NASA Matter, Blowen Hemi on board. Here we go. Outlaw Pro Mod, brought to us by Joel's Garage here. Good to have NASA Matter in there having a steer again. How good does Outlaw Pro Mod look, eh? Blower versus Turbo, Nitrous in a matchup coming here shortly. And we never quite got down to the bottom of why Barry Plumpton did 2 burnouts today, one after the other, and then took the car back to the pits. It was almost like he was...
slicks?
Well, I think he could be running tyres in, running engines in, running the whole thing in.
It looks like NASA Matter might have lost power down there as well. We can see the crew jogging towards the car. So Steve Smith here, RCE Performance Warehouse, the Corvette backing up. We might have to get NASA off the track though, because he's in a precarious position down there.
Yep, we've got to push about 2,700, 2,800 pound of door slammer back now. And that's going to be a bit of a hard ask. Here we go. Can't quite hear whether it's going yet or not, whether it's going with it shut off or whatever, but some of these cars do have remote starters that they can turn it back on, or sometimes you do, well, not remote starters, onboard starters. The remotes are, of course, normally a battery pack and a starter rig that you'd put on front of the supercharger, and sometimes a lot of the Pro Mod style cars have a little hinge on the hood to allow you to get that starter back in. And Smithy's doing the right thing here, no pressure, by turning the car off and just sitting there. We're under no forward direction from race control. As soon as you turn the car off and kind of just sit there, you're kind of willing, if NASA was able to get the car fired, to go again. If not, Smithy would probably go on a bye here. Again, it's qualifying, so he wants to get a number down anyway. Our Rivals Night's a great concept. It's qualifying, but it's a little bit of match-up, a little bit of racing. Makes you want to take it to the stripe and get the win line. So Smithy is there now, and no one's quite rushing back there to try and start the car, nor should they.
Now Smithy's lucky because he's a self-starting car, so he can actually turn it off and he can self-start, so he's fine to do that. Where the likes of the supercharged cars, they need to get the starter motor, and which is not allowed, obviously, in drag racing. So once you're fired, if you can't self-start, well, that's it.
There we go. So Smithy gets a free send here. Let's just see if he was ready for NASA. Hassling the big bags this afternoon. There's massive tyres on the back. Oh, wheelie there for Smithy. Remember last year's massive wheelie for Smithy. 564! 564, 236 mile an hour for Smithy. It's worth watching again. Half track, 375, 214 mile an hour at half track, 991 in the 60. It's going to look great from this angle if we hold this angle.
I believe that's early shooters, but only 236
That's a
mile an hour.
big early shoot. Let's have if we held this angle from here, watch this. I know we might switch here, but it's a nice wheelie out of the hole. Out it comes. There it goes. He's done it. Remember, he did a massive one the other year. Our footage froze up just for a minute, how awesome it was. That's how much torque it was making. It froze our stream there for a second.
Yeah, put your hands together for Steve Smith there. 564, PB for the team.
Yeah, that's
shoots out early.
That's a big number. 564 for Smithy.
The speed at half track was good as well. 214 mile an hour at half track.
See him just handle that big tyre perfectly. That's a perfect big tyre launch. You know, it's caught some RPM on the way out. It's responding by pushing the weight. It's just not overawed by the horsepower it's receiving at the time. Then all the power kicks in, and then the wheelie's up, and that tyre is set. The suspension's set. Physics kicks in, and that thing is a rocket ship.
You probably could find some improvement. The 60 foot was only 991, but you could probably pick up 1 or 2 numbers there,
mate. If we see Johnny Ricker out here. And he's not on our Outlaw Pro Mod matchups tonight, but that thing went like 9.3 in the 60 foot today. I can't believe this one either. Joe Gauchi, 71.5% they reckon the Eleanor will take on the Nova. And again, the Nova looks a little bit deceptive, Paul Mary. It's like a block of flats.
It's got some serious horsepower under the hood, though.
Yeah, it certainly does. Twin turbo, 572 cubes for Paul Mary, 520 cubes twin turbo for Joe Gauchi. But he is on a radial Paul Mary. So you watch the attitude of this car as it goes down the track. It tends to raise the suspension on the back of the car, not squat like a big tyre car. So Big tyres, they turn that tyre and they squat the suspension, they plant it all down. Radial tyres, the shock kind of goes to the ground. You're pushing the tyre out of the wheel arch instead of copping. You're resisting the natural forces of the car by dead hooking the radial tyres.
So Paul Merry's really giving himself a challenge this weekend, running an Outlaw Pro mode on a radial.
I think he did it last year. I think it's nearly gone 5s on the radial. Anyway, it's the most awesome car to see go down the track because its rear end is actually in pretty much right up high in the air as the suspension tops out. Poor Nasser, give him a round of applause as he goes past. Obviously, little gremlins crept in. They'll hopefully debug that for tomorrow. All right, we're going to go to Bump City too. Let's go. Gentlemen, let's go there. Well, he just knocks the radial off a little bit, but he gets back on it, Paul Merry. $5.99 with the pedal. $5.99 for Paul Merry with the pedal and a win for the radial car. $5.95 beside him for Joe. But, I mean, again, our footage just froze at the last minute as we're watching it go down. But what a match up there for Paul Merry. A win on the radials.
Whole shot win.
A win on the radial tyres for him and the whole shot. And I didn't quite grab the 60s. Yes, we did. 108 for Paul, 104 for Joe. But look at the reaction times. Paul Merry, 047 to Joe Gauchi's 087. Half track 401 for the radial car. 427.
Actually,
he was already off it. Must have pedalled back on it, Joe.
No. Actually, I think maybe Merry has taken his timer out or something, possibly, because
that doesn't make sense.
Gauchi was the second behind at 1,000 foot.
All right, so word on the street is that we've got some debris in the braking area. Something might have come off one of the cars down there.
I'm guessing timing block, parachute maybe hit the timing block or something.
Gotcha.
That's going to be my guess for us. All
right, geez, I'm getting some nice scoops. I can't always relay all the scoops I get through here. Again, you've got to be careful in a position like this where you do get some inside info. That's all good news if we hear about it. Nasser super keen to do more door slammer racing. Reports from Kreitz is that we've got some debris in the braking area, which is what we're addressing now. And as you said, it was the blocks taken out.
Yeah.
So and that's how you set that timer off for a 595 at 236. Beside you, because that would have been an amazing effort by Joe Gauchi to go from 427 at 145 to 595 at 236 at the end there.
Yeah, 100 mile an hour pickup.
So Paul's just flowing through there with probably the chutes out, and we can't control those parachutes sometimes. They will get out and they will blow a timing cube over, and of course the timing cubes are, dense foam with a reflector on them. What is our current way of fastening? Do we still use a big whack of silicone on them? I'm trying to think how we... I think we tried Velcro, but I just don't think the Velcro could cut the mustard, so it might have had to be some big goo, whatever we use there. But they can make a mess of a car at 200 mile an hour too, just quietly, just because they're foam. I mean, how would you feel if you got a Nerf ball in the head at 200 mile an hour? It's going to hurt. It's a Nerf ball, but it's 200 mile an hour Nerf ball. Much like people will feel if I serve one of the jamboree balls into you tomorrow. You'll feel what a timing cube feels like when it's hit by a Pro Mod at 200 mile an hour.
Well, they do a bit of damage.
They do.
They do a bit of damage. It's something you don't want to hit with a race car. It's usually a bit of work to be done on body panels.
Absolutely not. But look, needless to say, the surface is prime for getting some horsepower out, no doubt about it. Power wheelie there from Stu Walsh, Paul Merry out.
So obviously that low point count, depending on how the timing blocks were taken out, we'll have to wait for official word. Whether he's crossed the centre line and taken out with the car, or if the parachute's done it, we're not too sure. But we'll find out obviously from race control. But on that side of things,
I would figure that it can be Paul's purely because he stayed in his lane, but his chutes did, and again you can't.
If it was the chutes or if it was the car, we don't know.
But isn't it funny? Like if you were to ever adjudicate on there, if you pulled a parachute before the finish line and your chute went across the centre line,
we should have asked for the replay.
We could still probably ask for a replay, see if we can get it.
The guys are no replay. We've been told.
Oh, okay, there we go. But I mean, there's a hypothetical. If the car doesn't cross the centre line, but your parachute does, is that not part of a car?
No, there's parachutes are okay.
You're allowed the parachute over the sidelines, as long as your wheels don't go over the centre line or the sideline.
Sometimes the cars don't even touch the timing blocks and they blow them over just from the force of the cars as they
And
go
it looks
past.
like they may have hit him, but then when you look back at your footage, it's a dump pipe or, the turbulence. If you go past them quite close enough, it can nearly pull them up too.
The thing that I actually noticed on that pass from Paul Mary is that the chutes didn't actually blossom. That's what I was pointing at while you were chatting. So his chutes were actually dragging. So he's pulled up that car without the chutes as well. So I don't know if they had blossom and they dropped down, but they definitely went blossom in the middle of the braking area.
And that was at 238, I think he ran there. So, I mean, that's a lot to pull up. And, look, I don't know what the current weight of that car is. It looks heavier than it is. I mean, it's still got composite panels on it and everything like that. It's pretty much a pro mod, but it's also a very quick radial car when he puts the radial tyres on it. Paul's been in that sort of 370 zone in the 660 with a radial tyre on that car. And speaking of such, as they're sitting back here behind the water, Mr. Johnny Ricker is ready to take on Barry Plumpton as one of our final Rivals Night matchups in Outlaw Pro Mod, thanks to Joel's Garage Gear. Johnny Ricker, of course, earlier on this year, we were at the Kenda, happened right in front of us, didn't it? 3:49 in Australia, the first ever 3:40 run on radials. And that'll be outside America as well. I mean, in America, 3:40s have been running for a couple of years over there. I mean, 3:50s forever, and then now mid to low 3:40. I think Manny Bajinga at 43, 44, I think, has been run. But, he took this car, Johnny Ricker, put a radial on it, did all the suspension changes, ran this thing at Kenda and went 3:49. Forget the speed, but it won a bunch of 350s as well. So it's pretty much the baddest car on both disciplines in this country. And to know that you can take a vehicle and be on two different disciplines, and someone that's willing to do the car on two different disciplines, short, 660-foot radial racing or quarter-mile big tyre racing.
And the changes that they did between the quarter-mile racing to the eighth-mile racing was crazy.
It does take a pretty
commitment.
skilled and knowledgeable team, and Johnny's got that dream team there that really helps get this car to perform as it does. And it's an absolute treat. Anytime you turn up to watch a Jambo, or anytime we're running Pro Mod or Johnny's there, you're getting pretty much the cream of the crop. It's just what you expect the pointy end of US Pro Mod to be. Same with Barry Plumpton, by the way, just quietly, all the nitrous lovers out there. Yeah, that's what everyone else packs in the world.
Did we get the rival numbers for this pairing yet, or has that?
No, I'm waiting. I've got the percentage here. It's another one that's nearly split right down the middle.
Because I feel like that if Barry Plumpton was in any other race, he would be the favourite.
Is that
any
right?
Other pairing.
Is that right?
If you put Plumpton in any other pairing, I think he'd be almost the favourite. But in this one against Johnny Ricker, you're up against something special.
It is a bit interesting. It is 40. Here we go. I got it here. It's 50.6 for the nitrous, 49.4.
So Plumpton was favourite.
Yes.
Wow. There
Bit
you
of
go.
a New Zealand influence there as well. I think you got the whole country on your side over there.
There you go.
From Massey, New Zealand, Barry Plumpton. From Point Cook, Victoria, John Ricker. All right, our other rivals match up right now. So we got.
But the thing with Johnny Ricker is he can run into the 550s over the quarter mile quicker.
Well, I mean, it's been 40s with the car in this country, and it's a very impressive thing to see in the flesh, this car. As much as you people are enjoying it on the live stream right around the world, to see it in person, especially where we are. We've got one of the best seats in the house here, Mark Allen. We are just above ground level, we're literally only a couple of metres above ground level. We're right near the start line looking down the track, and to see this car dangle the wheels. You get to see the attitude from the rear tyres. You get to see the attitude of the car on this angle. But it's not going to be all his own way here, because Barry Plumpton can belt out a 50, a 70 or a 60 here as well.
The thing that impresses me the most with Johnny Ricker is the fact that this how consistent they are going quick. Like that. Make no mistake. When they run 540s, 550s, you are on the barrier of shaking, spinning, doing that, but they seem to get it from point A to point B 90% of the time.
It's very repeatable, this car, and Barry, I tell you what, he's got to be one of the most successful and consistent nitrous Pro Mod cars outside the US as well. I mean, we got him in Europe as well, but I mean, Barry's probably belted out more 5-second nitrous runs for Pro Mods outside America than anyone else.
Well, he's got a few event wins here in Australia in this car.
So it's not going to be all Johnny's way. If Johnny has to do a bit of peddling or whatever, we could see a lot of candles on the way down here. Keep an eye out. Look at the nitrous still continuing to purge. The ECU takes over from here. It does its own little topping up of the bottles here. It does its own little self-purging. This is all EFI gear now kicking in. Johnny Ricker ready to put on a bulb. Rivals time! Tell you what, something wrong with Johnny off the launch. It caught him down, but it's the nitrous car. 569 for Bazza. 569 now, that is an upset. But Johnny 602 off the lights too. Look at that off the lights. And we've lost it already. Barry 06 off the lights. I think Johnny 07 off the lights. We didn't get the 60 foots out of them.
Ricker was 107, so I'm guessing something was mixing up something there. The tune-up wasn't right because it was down on power off the hit. But there was no issues at all from the Barry Plumpton lane. I think that might even be a PB for the team as well, 569. I'm not too sure. We'll have to confirm that.
What a great run. Everyone in New Zealand will be cheering on that too. That's, of course, technically Q1 for Pro Mod. But it's,
let us know if that was a PB for him as well. But at the moment, Stephen Smith, number 1 qualified, the 64. Barry Plumpton with a 569. Joe Gauci.
We'll have to scratch Joe Gauci's 595. Paul Merry's 99. You can almost say still in. Johnny Ricker 602. And that car's just not its normal self on that hit. And Barry Plumpton, the nitrous warrior, the only nitrous guy in the field, and the only Kiwi, well, I shouldn't say the only Kiwi in the field. We've got Stewie Walsh in there too. So we've got the 2 Kiwis in their Camaros. So the Cuzzy bros in their Camaros tonight, doing very well. In fact, when we both look at that, it's actually a win to Stu Walsh and Barry Plumpton. So Kiwis 100% wins tonight. Sorry, 100% wins. So that's a one. And a one for Barry as well. So good on you, Kiwis. And even in Factory Extreme, Rod Harvey a win. So Kiwi.
There you go.
So three Kiwis winning their rivals race tonight.
Beating up on the Aussies tonight.
All right, what have we got left in store here?
Outlaw Pro Mod Q1. That looks like Kirsten Tucker down there.
Look, just a quick message from my good friend Simon Krieger. He's nitrous cars to the front. He's back. I knew we'd get Craigs back. Craigs was bagging a few of the little engines. He goes, these engines are so cute. Nothing beats the big cube nitrous. And then all of a sudden, Craigs comes back on and goes, yeah, the nitrous boys. Don't go changing Craigs. I know you won't. One for the nitrous lovers out there. All right, this lady, is she about 1 run or 2 runs away from ticking the licence off? The last run for her, it had a couple of little issues with the car, and it appeared that she had pedalled the car, but it was actually the car had shut off a little bit and come back on. We initially thought she pedalled it, but Kirsten Tucker not too far away from getting her licence. So 1 more run or 2, let's see.
She was the first female to be licensed in a pro stock car here in Australia.
And there we go. And of course we've had, look, technically we can say Michelle Davies in Pro Mod / Top Door Slam, or we can say that. We've had Debbie O'Rourke was in there before that, remember Debbie? Kat Stevens was in there as well. So we've had a couple of ladies try the Blow and Door Slammer Brigade. So she'll be our licensing here. Then we've got, I think we've got a couple of GDRs to finish the night off, and then that'll be our Friday night. Even enough time for the footy, Mark Allen.
Yeah, mate. So Kirsten obviously married to John Canilli, who has campaigned as Pontiac in Top Door Slammer. Has run to the 560, so the pedigree is there.
Johnny was in tears this afternoon. Kirsten went like a 6:09 early click today. Was in the 9.560 footers as well.
And brothers on the start line there.
Yeah, Tuck was there too.
Shane Tuck was there on the start line, so the whole family, most of the family's here. Dad and Mum might be over in the States still watching online, I'm sure.
Mike Hyde goes, 569 isn't a PB. If a PB happens, the belly will be out. There we go. So keep an eye out for bare dad bod bellies if they go quicker than their PB. All right, Shane Tucker, Nixon Canuli, and now John Canuli out the front. One very proud husband. Kirsten's turn to have a steer of the family Pro Mod. Doing everything right. Here we go. 5 seconds. Here we go. Oh, 671. 671. 420 to half track. 101 in the 64. And I don't know whether it went off song near the end. It came out all right, and we thought it was just mixing up the cylinders, doing a bit of power management, doing what it needed to do.
Yeah, 180 mile an hour to half track, 4.2 seconds to half track. Shoots out. I'm assuming she just rolled off the throttle there with the shoots out, and that's a great part. It was straight. Did everything it was meant to do from point A to point B there. So great lap there for Kirsten Tucker.
Yeah, righto. So again, just wonder, normally when you're looking to performance, do performance testing is normally, you want to see ETs representative of the class. That one we don't know what we do there with that one.
Well, the big thing,
everything else worked. Everything was working fine. Straight down the track, under speed, everything.
So the big thing that they're looking for once you do the full lap is it's actually the speed. So they want to see you do the 200 plus mile an hour so you can pull the chutes at speed, pull the car up in the braking area. Because if you're backing off at half track and rolling through for a low 6 second pass, well, you're not doing it at speed. So that's one of the things the ITRA officials do look for when you are in that licensing procedure portion of the thing. So you could actually pedal the car early on in the pass, still run the big speed and get your license, yeah.
All right, Sam Thackeray. This is Mr. Cranked Motorsport. This is the GTR we're talking about. Of course, the R35 we saw Johnny Elfs drive earlier on. There we go. He said he will have a crack at the purple R35 eventually, but right now he's having his hands full with a pretty stout R32 GTR right now. Aaron Stubbs beside him, of course. Matook's on the side of this one. So there's some tough Matook's RBs out there. I think even Sam's got one of those on board. If not, we know he's talking about one in the R35. All right, so this is our final category of the night. It might be our final pair by the look of it. So 2 GTRs just to wrap us up for Friday night. God, it felt like a Saturday, but it's just been our Friday. What a great 5 hours of testing.
Day one of the Garrett Advancing Motion 2026 Jamboree. Also brought to us by Fueltech and Tuff Streeters. Final pairing, day one, under the lights here.
Australia, land of the baddest GTRs in the world. And the legendary Jun 2 is in England at the moment, and there's going to be a GTR festival over there at Santapod. I think Mr. Hawkins is over there. That's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So the GTR love is worldwide, but we've got it here at Jambo as well, our GTR shootout. And a couple are lining up here now. Sam Thackeray and Aaron Stubbs. Just listen to that RB scream to the trap. 696, 205 mile an hour. 696, 205. Issues there for Aaron Stubbs off the line, but 126 in the 60-foot, half track 458 at 165 mile an hour for the GTR, and 205 mile an hour to finish us off for the night, folks. I hope you've enjoyed our Rivals night, where we culminated a round of qualifying for all of our exciting categories that you'll see again tomorrow morning. Here, of course, the Garrett Advancing Motion Brisbane Jamboree, Mark Allen. Tomorrow we engage into official. Well, today's day one. We've got to get used to saying this is day one. Day two tomorrow. We'll see more qualifying throughout the day. And we are scheduled to be on track.
9:30 a.m., mate, on track.
I think we even said today, gates open at 5. I believe that's what I heard today. Gates open, like early. That's for competitors, yeah. So, I mean, general public, maybe wait till 8. Maybe wait till 8, general public. But competitors, if you are here, well, anyone that's watching on the stream ready to come out tomorrow, or someone that's here going home to get ready to come out racing tomorrow, just be known, we're on track at 9:30 tomorrow. So competitors, don't turn up here at 8:30 and expect to get scrutineered and accredited and into your pit area and everything settled in an hour. We need all our competitors, and we try to stress to the ones that are already here today, which is probably fruitless to tell all the ones that aren't here, but hopefully are watching this live stream as we ratchet up tonight. Competitors, you can get in from about 5:30 tomorrow. So we encourage all competitors to get here earlier, sooner rather than later. The last thing we need, and sometimes it happens in Sydney a lot of our races turn up in Sydney a little bit too late. Then they're in a tizzy. They've got to get the thing. You've got to go and get scrutineered. You've got to go get accredited. All your members, all your team members, crew, armbands and everything. You need to get that in order before we're starting to call qualifying sessions out. So you can bet your bottom dollar we'll we'll be cranking up some form of early drivers briefing before we get on track tomorrow at 9:30 as well. So the best thing we can do for competitors is encourage you to get here as soon as you can, close to 5:30. Get your pit allocation, go and get set up for pit-wise. Go and get all your accreditation done. That way you are ready to hear the next announcements tomorrow, which will be about drivers briefing and day 2 outlining on how we're going to go through qualifying. And we'll be starting right back where we left off today, which is Radial Extreme, J275 and Street 289, our first 3 down the track tomorrow. And we are scheduled for that 9:30 start. So on behalf of myself, Chris Diggles, Mark Allen, Terry Dale, the Overtaking Lane live stream presented by Crank Motorsport, all of our great sponsors, Garrett Advancing Motion. Friday, done. What a great, I shouldn't say it's an experiment. I think this is the future. This is what we're going to be doing. 3 days of sport compact action and a great big day already in the books. Back to your live citizens. But, hey, see you all again for a great weekend. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring the kids. Tell everyone about it. Like and share, and we'll see you all in the morning. Night, night.